I know exactly where the movie loses me. Before they allow Kat to be a fully developed person and character, I can't stand her, but I know I'm supposed to be rooting for her. And when that sister goes, "Are you from planet weirdo?" or whatever she says, and then she goes, "Are you from planet look at me, right there." You movie that is two lame ass lines delivered poorly in a row.
I want to give you that. I really do. I don't want to say anything negative about the movie, but I'll give you that. Like, I never liked that line, though, as opposed to look at me.
That's the thing about this movie, though. It does earn it back.
Welcome to Load Bearing Beams, a movie podcast hosted by me, Matt Stokes, and co-hosted by...
The fuck? Did you just say hosted by and then I'm co-hosted?
We are co-hosts together.
What did you say?
Hosted... Oh, I could...
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
No,
I'm Lacey.
I wasn't trying to give you a demotion.
Matt, you don't have to talk so much. And I'm Lacey Roth,
and
co-host.
Joining us all the way from Padua High School, he's singing a song in the football stadium bleachers. Patrick, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Dude, I wish I'd gone to Padua High School.
Dude,
That's
everyone.
actually a real high school, Stadium High School in Tacoma, Washington.
It's fucking
a real
gorgeous.
high school. I wish I'd gone there.
Of the things, the mischief you could have made, the dirt bikes you could have ridden down mountains.
On accident.
Can you only imagine?
I can.
Yes, Patrick Perot, our friend from Rural Route 9 is here with us. Patrick, welcome to the show. We're pleased to have you.
Ahoy.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm pleased to be here.
You last joined us on the Blair Witch Project episode from a year and a half ago, but this is the first time you've been solo on the show. Mm-hmm. It's a long time overdue, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You just... I move here and you just forget about me and you got your wife and kids. I mean, it's cool. It's cool.
You emerge every once in a while. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy.
Oh, yeah,
that guy. So that's why this came together, because you said, you revealed that 10 Things I Hate About You is maybe your favorite movie. And I had always thought.
No, it is.
It is, okay. I had always thought it was either
Dumb and Dumber.
Or Last Crusade or Back to the Future 2. So this was news to me.
News to you. And you also thought this movie was on my list, but it's actually How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's on my list.
Oh, the number 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I assumed this was a Lacey movie, but it's not. Although you knew the movie.
Oh, I know it very, very well.
This is not. Oh, yeah. But I was about to say, I would imagine Lacey grew up with this movie.
It came out at a hard time. It was surrounded by things I think I didn't realize at the time this movie was doing a little bit more than other stuff coming around this, Can't Hardly Wait, She's All That. Except I'm trying to think of.
I'm going to get into She's All That.
Not later. Another teen movie.
No. But all the movies those are about, the comedy was not totally as high but there are really funny parts and really funny characters, and I don't think I realized this movie was doing a little bit more than just trying to be funny.
There's stuff going on.
There's some stuff.
Exactly.
There's some stuff in this movie.
I'm going to get into that too. I'm going to get into She's All That and why it's the poor man's, the very, very poor man's version of 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to get into She's All That as well, because I watched it for the first time this morning and I have thoughts as well.
Weird time to watch it. I don't feel like that's a movie you can come in fresh and just watch it and be like, I understand why people like this.
After watching 10 Things, you can, and then you can just see things that She's All That did wrong.
I just imagine it doesn't hold up, Matt. Why do you look so confused?
Well, how else am I supposed to watch it? With a time machine?
No, I'm just saying I don't know that it can really inform your decision right now, because you had to have been in the mind frame that we were at the time to appreciate what it was doing. No.
Can I deliver you a nuclear hot take?
What, Matt?
I like those movies about equal. I like them both.
All right.
But I like She's All That.
Is hot.
I like She's All That.
Yes.
And I like 10 Things I Hate About You. I
knew you liked it. I was hoping you loved it. I was hoping you thought it was fantastic.
Well, I think there are fantastic things about it.
There are characters in this that I think could probably beat any character from the same genre across all of the movies.
Yeah. And
like there's one character in particular that I could watch all day.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Alice and Janney.
No, sure, I'll do.
I assumed we would all say Krumholz. Yeah, is the
no.
He's just the
after you
fucking
mentioned
best.
it, and I rewatched it 3 more times since you mentioned it. I noticed he's actually in a lot more of the movie than I thought.
Yeah,
he
is.
is.
He's pretty much always with Cameron. Almost always.
Almost like he should have maybe have been Cameron.
And almost like that guy can't really carry a fucking scene.
Gordon-Levitt's very likable too.
He's likable, but that's about it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go over our histories with the movie, and Patrick can explain why he brought this movie to our attention. But I first want to do a call to action, everybody. If you want even more load-bearing beams, the perfect place to get it is on our social media at load-bearing-pod on Twitter, load.bearing.beams on TikTok, or load-bearing-beams on Instagram. You'll get bonus stuff like a video that the 3 of us just recorded where we name our favorite teachers from movies.
Don't miss that.
Don't you want to find out what we had to say? Don't you want to leave a comment saying what your own favorite teacher from a movie is?
I guarantee they're all teachers.
Yes.
Let's start there.
And not like,
shut up, Matt.
Luke Skywalker teaches Rey how to use a lightsaber. He counts.
When I was looking through the list of greatest movie teachers, they brought up Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yep.
That's
I
not
thought
the
about
vibe.
Yoda.
It's not the vibe we're going for. No, because I mean, the movie is our anchor, right? So like that's where my brain was anchored. I want straight up kids dealing with teachers and kindergarten cop. Damn it!
Oh, he's a lovely teacher.
That was on every list.
He's a lovely. He's so sweet right there. But I did not name him. But you'll have to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram to find out what we think. Please do. All right. Patrick, our guest, first tell us about your history with this movie and why it's so special to you.
All right. Well, I'll do my best not to ramble. I'll try to keep it concise.
Hey, you're already starting off weak.
Fuck you.
Because you just did a pre-ramble. All right, go on.
This is a dog
I do that.
spinning around on the ground before it lays down.
Okay.
So you would have been right a year ago. My favorite movie, I had 3 favorite movies tied. I had 3 different genres. I had Dumb and Dumber as my comedy, Nightmare on Elm Street as my horror, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade as my action adventure. And they were all tied, no specific order. They were locked in. I never thought about it. And that was like 10 or 15 years that I had those locked in. They were my favorites. I never questioned it. And then, so the history with 10 Things real quick, to get to present day. I saw it when it first came out with my parents. I was about 13, I'm pretty sure. And we all liked it. Not my parents, my brother and my dad. And we all liked it. And we've seen it like once every 2 years. Probably me more since I love it so much. And so last year we were on the trip. Like a lot of times when we're on vacations and we're in the room and we plug the DVR in, it's like, hey, what do we watch? And one of the first things that pops up is 10 Things I Hate About You, alphabetically. So I always say 10 Things. And they, again, Patrick. And
Okay,
so
when you say they, because we don't live in your world, you mean
he said.
He said his dad and his brother is who he went to see the movie with. He didn't say who he travels with, Matt. He could be with a partner or something. God.
No, I do that a lot. I talked about things like people already know me and know everything about me.
That's what I'm here for, baby. I'm here to.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Hey, yeah.
So on this past trip a year ago, we were in the room and they groaned and said again. And I said, yes, I am always in the mood for this movie. I can watch it every day for the rest of my goddamn life.
Aw.
You know?
That's a favorite movie, all right.
So yes, that's what got me thinking. So I started thinking about what I said that night after they went to bed. I was up later and I was thinking about what I said and if I could say that about the other movies, and I couldn't, I used to be able to say that about Dumb and Dumber, but I guess as I got older, it just didn't have enough for me. So I thought about why that was. Why can I not say that about Dumb and Dumber anymore, but I can say that about this? And I think it's because 10 Things I Hate About You has heart. It has a satisfying resolution.
Yep.
It's got more than just comedy. Comedy alone isn't enough. Dumb and Dumber, you don't care about the ending. You don't care about the story. You just care about the jokes. You just want to laugh.
Yeah.
The briefcase is a whole giant MacGuffin just to get him on the trip. It doesn't matter in any way.
Although what I ended up saying about Dumb and Dumber when we did it for the show was I think they're very sweet. I like these guys.
They are very sweet. They're sweet, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
No, I know.
You discover sweetness.
And I've always been upset about the ending of Dumb and Dumber. Like, these guys have been screwed over their whole lives. They live in the shittiest apartment imaginable, have shitty lives where they want to start a worm farm, and Lloyd falls off of air jetways. And then they finally get a break. The supermodel stops, say, will you be our waxers or lotion people, guys?
Waxers, just
and they miss the
constantly
opportunity.
wax
will you
our
be our
vaginas.
pussy eaters, please?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And they're like, the town is that way.
Anyway, so we're talking about 10 things. We need fucking bumper pads on this lane.
No, let him cook.
He's cooking. All right.
Okay, so yeah. So with 10 things, it's like, you know how it's going to end. You know what's going to happen. You know she's going to find out that he's being paid, and then she'll get mad, and they'll get together. But it's okay, because it's still satisfying. It still feels authentic and organic and real.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ending is still satisfying, even though you know what's going to happen. You still care, and you know, and it's still great. It's still very satisfying. And as for watching it every day for the rest of my life, since you told me about this podcast, I started watching it every day. I've seen it 8 times in the past 7 days.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm going to watch it again after we're done.
Was
Nice.
there? Okay. So
Wait, I would like to point out that this is not one of your criteria for what makes a movie good, but me and Patrick have a ton in common, and this is another thing that makes sense. Rewatchability is a big part of the criteria for when I give something 5 stars. So I just wanted to say, Patrick, I get that. Like I do think a movie that I could like live inside of and live with forever, and it could be my goodnight movie, like Milk Money was for so many years. That does make something 5 stars for me.
Let me just push back a little. The only thing I care about rewatchability. I'm just saying, if there's a movie that I'm like, this is a great movie that I don't want to watch again because it's too difficult to watch, that's still deserving of 5 stars if it accomplishes
and they still
all that
do
stuff.
Get 5 stars.
Okay.
Well, but when I'm trying to break the tie, though, that's how I do it. Because
I just wanted to relate to Patrick just for a little moment. That was all.
the last thing I wanted to say is, I'm sorry, is I think about 10 Things A like I do the classic Simpsons. I've seen it 100 times. You can pause it at any moment, and I know exactly what the next line is going to be, but it's still funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good comparison. That's how I feel about Bob's Burgers. That's why it is a good night show. Anything that is entertaining enough to watch and familiar enough to unwatch. That's a good night show.
Yeah. Lacey has the great term she's coined, lily padding, where you're just hopping from your favorite scene to your favorite scene. And, if the connective tissue is a little weak, you don't even notice it anymore.
It allows you to ignore it.
Doesn't matter at all.
Familiarity allows you to ignore.
I had seen parts of this movie on cable. I think I had seen the second half and maybe parts of the first half, but it was again on cable, and that was more than 20 years ago. But there are like sequences I love. There's things about this movie that I love so much, having watched it twice in the past 2 days. And then a lot of things that I think are totally weak that I don't like by the design of the movie, by adapting a Shakespeare play and wanting to have all the complicated, swirling different relationships, it can't excise. But I can see that, like, yeah, I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Alyssa Oleynik are kind of shitty and boring, but who cares? I'm going to get back to Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. I had only watched it from beginning to end this week. I knew this movie had a great reputation and has this legendary cast of people who all became stars later, or at least became notable stars, and that it has this meteor crashing onto Earth of Heath Ledger arriving in Hollywood. And he's like, I wouldn't even say it's like a great technical performance. You just can't take your eyes off of him. Yes.
Can't take my eyes.
Can't take your eyes off of him.
He's fucking magnetic. Yeah.
And you can see why Hollywood's like, this is the guy. This is going to be the guy. And they push him into leading man roles, and none of it worked until Brokeback Mountain.
He needs to be a little tortured. He needs to be alternative. Like he's a little bit of an outcast, or a little just downtrodden in some kind of.
Well, he is the movie star, good looks and charisma, but he is like a serious actor, like a Joaquin Phoenix, I guess.
Yes,
and
that's
they both
perfect.
obviously played the Joker, but
people can say that he only won the Oscar because he died, but bullshit.
No, he would have won
phenomenal.
that Oscar, but he should have won for Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah,
is the thing.
Is that what helps you get the October Sky clues?
Explain to the world what you're talking about.
I sent you the clue about October Sky, and I said it's got a recent Oscar an actress who won an Oscar recently and was nominated 2 times, an actor who won an Oscar a long time ago, and then the lead was nominated for an Oscar in the same movie as somebody else who was nominated for an Oscar.
Yes, that's how I figured it out.
Great. Okay, guys.
I loved doing it too. Okay. Well, it seems like we all had a great time. I guess
no one asked me my fucking history, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, I was about to say we didn't get to Lacey. I was thinking about you.
Thank you, babe. I would have liked this movie, but I know exactly where the movie loses me, and it's fucking cutting it close in several moments, because before they allow Kat to be a fully developed person and character. I can't fucking stand her, but I know I'm supposed to be rooting for her. And when that fucking sister goes, "Are you from Planet Weirdo?" or whatever the fuck she says, and then she goes, "Are you from Planet? Look at me, right there. Fuck you, movie. That is two lame ass lines delivered poorly. No, fuck you. This is not funny. What are you doing?"
I want to give you that. I really do. I don't want to say anything negative about the movie, but I'll give you that. Like, I never liked that line, as opposed to "look at me, look at me."
From then on, you better you got a C-, so you want to get back up to an A, you better try. That's the thing about this movie, though. It does earn it back. It just bums me out that I've got my like lips wet for something I think I'm going to get, and I'm like, no, miss, no. What? And then it's like, okay. Oh, yeah. And that's my feeling on the movie.
I think it's a great performance. I love her the whole time.
That I just gave.
Yes, by Lacey. I think Julia Stiles is so wonderful. And I think the special thing about this movie is the two leads and how just crazy charming and how great they are together.
They're fucking
That's the word, charming.
But they have they look really in love. I wanted to like look it up. Were they ever in a relationship? Were they good friends? How sad was Julia when he died? Like, I want to look at, I just like, God, this feels so real.
So I have a quote from Julia Stiles about how sad she was when he died. And the quote is, "I was sad." No, I don't know.
You're an asshole.
I didn't find any information about real life feelings between the two of them. But I made my deepfake video recently.
How tall is he, Matt?
6'1", and I have that later in the slideshow. I made my deepfake video recently, and I had all these critiques of deepfake, but I left out the most obvious one, which is like deepfakes can't have chemistry with each other like two human beings can. And the sum of the sum of Julia Stiles plus Heath Ledger is way greater than the sum of the parts, than how great they are individually. They're making each other better, and we can't stop watching them.
Exactly. No, you said something that I put in capitals and underlined 3 times in my notes. Charming.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key word. I said, look, this movie, I'm not going to sit here and try to say this is a deep movie that's philosophical and makes you think when it's over. It's none of those things, but that's okay.
I think it kind of is.
I think there's shit going on with her, especially.
I do too. Yeah, no, appreciate
this character growth.
And I appreciate that they didn't go the dead mom route. And then that she didn't have to have this big like fucking arc about her mom. You think the movie's building to her talking about why she's this way because of her mom, and it turns out it's a mixture of things, but it's more to do with the shit model
Tony,
guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, oh, okay, and I just like that it doesn't totally do what you think it's going to do.
She has a reason to be the way she is, and she has been treated shittily by the world, and the movie subverts the idea that she needs to change.
Right.
The guy falls in love with her because he realizes, I like you the way you are. I like that you're a bitch.
I like that it doesn't take any time. He needed a chance for somebody to show any interest in him at all, and in a way, that's the model guy. Honestly, he found a role at the school. The role is, if I don't want people to fuck with me, I'm scary guy. And as soon as he was given the ability to do anything else, he liked what he saw, and he saw something in her that felt, I don't know, real and like himself.
Real quick, I want to say that I think that there's a couple of things that made Julie Katerina the way she is, one of which is definitely her mother, but I love how the movie lets the audience figure things out instead of just explicitly spelling everything out, like, oh, she left exactly this much time ago and this is what happened when she did. No, like, it's all mostly implied, and then they mention her I think twice, like, oh, you're just like this because mom left, and then
and they do a perfect job of showing the dad is somehow completely lovable, and so much. He's just so much, but it's perfect. It shows you exactly why someone might be really cranky, and another person might be very,
yes, they're two different coping mechanisms. They're two completely opposite coping mechanisms.
Exactly. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. This movie is doing more than like a Jennifer Love Hewitt movie. It is. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I appreciated it at the time, so it didn't stick. Julia Stiles rubs me the wrong way. In this movie, she works for me.
I was researching the movie, and it seems like especially women have a big issue with Julia Stiles.
She's in 3 movies where she plays someone that she's an O. she's in Save the Last Dance, and she dances to Biggie Smalls. That's like her biggest scene in this one. It's like instead of just casting a black person, she is white girl that can dance, and I'm white girl that can dance. Number one, number two, I'm just like I'm not buying it. You don't seem cool like that to me, Julia Stiles. Like, and I don't know why I need it.
Well, that's funny that you say that
all
because
those movies.
it's really funny you say that you don't need her dancing, because I read that she got the role in Save the Last Dance because of her dancing on the table.
Oh,
scene.
I mean, I know that.
Yeah, she said that. Yeah,
she can dance, and it is not. A lot of actresses don't get to show off that they can. I think that's cool. I think I'm jealous.
Okay, that's often the case. Women be jealous.
This woman, because
when Matt asked me about it, I said that I think there's so many people who do a really good job acting in this movie. Like everybody but Larisa Oleynik, really. Like Larry Miller is gold.
Yeah, but even her performance works because it's supposed to be disposable, I think. Like, I don't know.
I told Matt her acting is about as one-dimensional as the character she plays.
Right. The character's not deep.
But I thought Julia Stiles was the strongest actor when I was watching it. I thought she was phenomenal. The poem scene at the end, she did in one take.
I think I would go, yeah, she gives the best performance in the movie. Yeah. Krumholz is obviously just a fun comic relief, but she has to do a lot of stuff, and she's only 17 years old when she's doing
Really?
it. Yeah, which
How
is
old
just
is Heath
crazy.
Ledger?
21.
Ew.
Let's talk about the history of the movie, and there's a lot here, actually. So, we return to our old friend William Shakespeare, of course. We last met him when we did the Romeo and Juliet movie a few months ago.
Was he involved with that?
With our recording? So The Taming of the Shrew was originally written between 1590 and 1592 in the town of Padua. Catherine, the Shrew, is the eldest daughter of a noble lord, and the men of the town find her too unpleasant to want to marry, but they do fancy her younger sister Bianca. So here's what happens in the play, and obviously this is what 10 Things I Hate About You is adapting The Taming of the Shrew, and it was part of a slew of 90s literary adaptations for teen movies.
Like Othello.
Othello, yes. Clueless was an adaptation of Emma by Jane Austen, and even She's All That was sort of an adaptation of Pygmalion / My Fair Lady. I was going to say that. The father will not consent to the marriage for Bianca until Catherine is married first. Petruchio arrives in town, and then the Joseph Gordon-Levitt and David Krumholz characters, they recruit him to woo Katharina. Whenever she insults him, he pretends she's actually complimented him. You stink like shit. Why, thank you, my lady. So they get married as a result, and they move away to Verona, whereupon Petruchio, in order to break her, denies her food and clothing and locks her in the house. And he tells her everything she says is wrong, and he forces her to agree with everything he says, even when everything he says is absurd and incorrect, like the moon is made of cheese. She has to agree with it. Then they return to Padua for the wedding of her sister, as well as one other couple, and then there's a debate among the three grooms about who has the most obedient wife. So they have a contest. Whose wife will come out first if we call them? Well, Catherine comes first, and then she goes to fetch the other two wives, and then she looks at the audience and gives a monologue about how important it is for women to listen to their husbands.
Shit.
And that's the play.
Wow, William.
Yeah.
You got some stuff going on with you.
I think it's one of his lesser regarded works, but
such a good title.
Yes.
And I give the movie props for not doing all of that.
Well,
you picked the right parts, movie.
Because it's so obviously shitty and misogynistic. I think it's people want to do a take on it because it's calling for it. And this movie does a nice job of subverting the idea that she needs to change. She doesn't need to change, and she doesn't change.
And in fact, gets to go to Sarah Lawrence, which is the most feminist thing they could have picked for her to do in the 90s.
Right. All right. So, 2024, there's a lot of oral histories of this movie out there on the internet. It's a very beloved movie.
A lot of oral.
A lot of oral going on, but they all talk to the same people. All of the creators of this movie are very, very available, and they all say much the same thing.
Can we get them on the podcast?
Maybe.
Okay.
All right. So Kirsten Smith and Karen McCullah are the two writers of the film, and they generated
Two women writers. Fuck yes. Take that, Shakespeare.
Kirsten Smith said, quote, "For me and Karen, everything started after seeing the movie Clueless by Amy Heckerling. She had adapted Jane Austen's Emma into an iconic teen film. We were really big fans of teen movies and we really wanted to write one. So we thought we should try to find a classic play or myth or fairy tale or fable and turn it into a contemporary high school movie. We started researching. We went through libraries and bookstores. This was before Google. So we did all of this research and tried to find a lot of different ideas. Finally, a friend suggested Taming of the Shrew and it instantly clicked. The more we read the play, the more it felt like a perfect adaptation and something that had all the great Shakespearean turns and twists, but also could be modernized in a really cool feminist way," end quote.
Yeah. Is it a sign of how old we are or just a coincidence that both of these movies have a tragic dead actor in them? Is it just that the older we get, the more this will be true of the movies we love? But
what's the other movie we're talking about?
Clueless. We're looking right at it. Okay. She's dead.
Yeah.
But they both died young. I mean,
they both died young, but I do think that yes, as we age, we'll find more and more people dying.
People in this movie.
I don't know which one to mention first, but since you just talked about the co-writers, the screenwriters, I guess I'll mention that. So, fun fact, my research, it's amazing how well this movie succeeds despite having so many firsts. Like, it's their first screenplay that they wrote ever. Those two writers. The director, it's his first movie ever. Heath Ledger's first American movie. Julia Stiles is 17. You know, all these people are up and coming, and it's amazing that this movie is so good when it's the writer's first screenplay.
Somebody in the mix had amazing instincts, and like they said, like the story just clicked and gel. I mean, there's somebody in the middle of this that's just like got a nose for what the story is.
Well, yeah, but I also think that's part of the appeal. Like, there's always like, you can see a band in concert when they're like at a certain point early in their career where you're like, this is the most exciting point to catch them because this is like at the beginning of them figuring it out.
Right. And they've got so many ingredients to cook with that you've never seen because you've never seen anything they can do. Mm-hmm. So if they're already good and they don't need a running start, you're just going to see the best of them.
Right. So all these people who will go on to do a lot of stuff, to see them right here and it all gelling is so exciting to see. And yeah, I think that with the director, and I'll talk about him in a minute, I can feel the first time filmmaker in the movie. Because if you like, I always notice first time when it's somebody's first time directing, they always do like way too many cool camera
too many
tricks.
Little things. Yep.
And you're like, that was so unnecessary. Like, you did that to show me that you could, but that probably cost you $500,000 and there was no need for it.
You did not need to be on the roof of that. You didn't need a helicopter.
Oh, I love that. I love
it too. It feels very Empire Records or something. I don't know.
Yes, that was so cool.
It is very
I love
cool,
that.
but I'm scared for how they get down.
And apparently they did that without a permit and they largely shouldn't have done it. But it's not that. I like that, and I like that it adds like some magical realism to the movie. Yeah. It's more like there's like a tracking shot of their neighborhood that goes on and then swoops into their house. And it's like, that's way too fancy for this movie.
No, but you know what? It works so well because that part actually works very well because of the song that's playing at the moment. Okay. So it starts out, sunshine on my window makes me happy. And then it cuts into the window where Cat is and it changes to the hard rock part. Okay. And it's supposed to show the juxtaposition between the two sisters.
Yeah.
That's what I think. It's going into the house and it's giving you an idea of what the house is like inside.
But also
I get the idea.
To the credits. The credits are very 90s and doing too much, but it's fun.
Super 90s. Oh, yeah. 90s. So 90s, those credits.
Gil Junger is the director of this movie. Who is this guy? Well, again, this is his first film as director. I think he has a good touch with some of the jokes, especially visual gags. But I think that, regarding the script, I don't know that I think this is a great script.
No.
I think that Kat is a really good character on paper, but I think she's given such groaning one-liners that she has to say.
Fucking bull.
And I can detect, like I can feel the Kevin Williamson from Scream or the Joss Whedon that they're trying to go to, like the super clever things that always they just clang here. That the actors are so good that they overcome it.
Exactly.
And I feel like there's so many scenes where like Julia Stiles like throws a book at Heath Ledger and she's like, try this on, lame brain, and then he looks befuddled and then the scene just
bullshit.
Cuts.
Bullshit. Her lines are more often than not clever and witty.
No, but they're coded that way. They're supposed to be. The vocabulary is overly complicated. She's too snide when she says it. Like there's just
The defense.
No, I gave you the look at me one. I'm not going to do anything else.
The
You don't
defense
have to
for
do
her
anything.
is that she is herself putting on an act.
That's true. But that is what it feels like, and it's not working. You're pissing off your teachers. You're pissing off but I know she's also trying to push everyone away. I
just
fucking
feels
get
like
it. Just
super clever. Again, Kevin Williamson style dialogue was very in vogue at the time, and it's like you gotta have that if you have a teen movie,
right. It's like it was like Reality Bites or like Singles or something, right? Like it's just like everyone's got way too big of vocabulary if they're deep.
Yeah.
And she's blonde. She's got to overcome the
What do you want her to
blondness. Like she's emo without looking it. So she's not an artist either. But she is a musician. I'm just saying, like she's got to have something. She's got to be into the books and feminist literature. They need something to emo her up.
If I had to say what's most wrong with this movie, if
don't.
there was one thing that I would say is wrong, is that it should be 2 hours long, and they should spend a little more time developing. No, not just because I love it and I want it to be longer, but they didn't develop some of the characters enough. The ending resolution was pretty abrupt. Like the prom thing happens literally 10 minutes before the movie ends, and they.
I think the biggest failing is that Patrick Heath Ledger's character there's so little on paper about him. Heath Ledger is so great that you forgive it, but you're like, we don't know shit about this guy.
I know more about the fucking guy in Grease too.
And like they're trying to like fill it in. They're like, oh, his grandpa's house ate SpaghettiOs, but it's like, does he have friends? What does he care about? What does he like? Why does he need this money? What does he? I don't know.
I agree. But I think it fuck, what was I gonna say? I'm sorry, I interrupted Lisa and I forgot. I was so scared she was gonna yell at me. I think they could have definitely given us more details about his life, but I think they show us enough. Like, I mean, the
I'm
classic rule
satisfied.
the classic rule show don't tell, and so they start with introducing him with a bunch of rumors and hearsay so they can subvert the audience's expectations later on when it turns out he's actually a really nice guy. Like, the only things we distinctly see him do that might be considered bad is smoke cigarettes and drink a beer in the bar.
Yeah, he screws a hole through the fucking French book. Not cool, man. That was a rental.
Probably not cool, no. But
it's
it's
his armor. It's his armor.
But when he goes to the party, he's like, you find out he's a really great guy.
No,
like the advice he gives to Cameron is genuine, and he really cares for Julia Stiles.
Well, okay, then that seems way too abrupt.
And doesn't take advantage of her when she's drunk.
Yes, which is such a nice
also,
touch.
she threw up, so yuck.
No, but he didn't kiss her because
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I completely agree. I'm kidding.
Like, I agree they could have given more detail, but I think they did give us enough for us to enjoy it. Like I said, I like that they set him up one way and then show him being different. I wish they had shown more.
I wish we were grounded as much in him as we are in Catherine. The other thing is, I think that it's a little strange. This movie is structured very weirdly, where for the first like 45 minutes or so, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's the main character, and then he hands the movie off, kind of disappears, and then I think it becomes a really, really special movie. But it's almost like, I wish we didn't even need that first part of the movie then. But that's like the Shakespeare comedies. They're always like, there's two couples. There's the boring couple and the awesome couple. And you're like, why can't we just spend all our time with the awesome couple? But that's just like the nature of the thing.
Because the boring couple gets the best sidekick. And then the awesome couple, no sidekick at all. We need some kicking around.
Would you have been more satisfied if they had made two separate movies and one of them was about Cameron and Bianca and the other one was about Heath Ledger?
You know the answer to that. One's on Hallmark.
I don't care about Cameron and Bianca.
You need, I don't know. I think you need the dull to really, whatever it works. I just think it's poorly. The literal lines on the page are bad.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But at least them getting together does work. I think all the hookups in the movie work. The three hookups. Dave Krumholz and his Shakespeare girl totally works.
Mandela.
Obviously Heath Ledger. Oh, is that? Yeah. Her name's Mandela, right? She says it once at the prom, and
it's just such a weird name that we're like, okay.
And she keeps misremembering things. She's like, it used to be the Berenstein Bears. Let's
spending time in jail.
All right, Gil Junger. Who is this guy? Like, this guy's filmography is so bizarre. So this was his first movie. After this, he directs the Martin Lawrence film Black Knight, and then he directs like a Jennifer Love Hewitt movie called If Only, and then mostly like does Hallmark movies and TV. His most recent theatrical film was called Think Like a Dog, starring Josh Duhamel and Megan Fox.
No, thank you.
He did direct a sequel to 10 Things I Hate About You called 10 Things I Hate About Life that during production was canceled, and we'll get a little more into that. But here's what he said about,
told me that.
You know what? We don't need to hear this.
I wish you hadn't told me that.
Told you
that
what.
makes me sad
Just
that
keep
could have
going.
existed.
All right, Julia Stiles was 17 years old during the production of the movie. She's 5'8". Her first leading role was in an independent horror movie called Wicked, but then this was her first mainstream studio movie. Kristen Smith, one of the writers of the movie, said, quote, "We both love a really strong-willed feminist leading character. We just really wanted her to be very defiant and didn't care what people thought about her. We wanted for her to be punk rock." End quote. Do we think she's punk rock?
They fucking tried. She's bougie punk rock. I mean, as punk rock as someone can be that privileged and rich.
I would say she's as punk rock as somebody who doesn't know what punk rock writing the movie thinks she can be. Does that make sense?
Yes, I get what you're saying. I think it's important that the teacher calls her out very early on in the movie.
Yes, I do think that's
He's
doing
the
a lot
teacher
of work.
I wish I could be. I wish I could be him so bad. Pipe down, Chachi. Unless she kicked the crap out of your dumb butt, I don't want to hear about it. That's the best. He just drops gems.
Julia Stiles, yes. She said, they have this 2019 quote from her, quote, "Cat was the first role I had read for a young woman that was so refreshingly feisty. I loved the script, especially because it had a healthy bite to it. For a romantic comedy to have a cynical sense of humor, but also be truly romantic, stood out at the time." End quote. I think that's it.
That's perfect.
It is a really romantic movie. And it has a cynical sense of humor.
And I fucking love Save the Last Dance. What's my problem? With Julia Stiles.
Is this a George
She's always
Clooney
got to
thing?
have a
You like her when you watch her?
Yeah. But my memory of her is fuck you, Julia. But but she's got to have a dead or missing mother, because Save the Last Dance, mommy's dead.
Oh my God, I know. Can you believe I haven't
There's
seen
a lot
Save
of
the Last
dancing,
Dance?
and you know how I feel about dancing.
Like, okay, so they
and I love a guy thing. I love it.
She got a little bit of a movie star push after this, and it didn't quite work out.
Right.
Save the Last Dance, a guy thing, Mona Lisa Smile. And she's also in most of the Bourne movies, but she kind of movie career stalls out. She goes to TV. I think the most recent prominent movie role she had was in the movie Hustlers, the Jennifer Lopez strippers movie. She plays the reporter, but she's super successful on TV and stuff. She's doing great. Heath Ledger.
Wait, before you go on,
yes.
My notes on Julia Stiles, or the character Cat. So other people considered were Eliza Dushku and Katie Holmes, and the role was actually offered to Kate Hudson. And then Goldie Hawn read the script and said it was stupid. And
Goldie.
See,
yes, no.
Goldie agrees with me. Not a great script.
Hey, she saved us though.
But maybe she knew that Kate Hudson couldn't make it what it needed. She's like, you know what? You're too weak, daughter. Go do Almost Famous and rock everyone's world.
Yeah. So I can't imagine anybody like Julia Stiles.
No.
Yeah, no. You need someone that can dance.
Heath Ledger was 21 years old at time of production, 6'1", and he had worked in Australian TV. He's Australian. He grew up in Australia.
I know. Yeah.
Worked steadily in Australian television.
He's a Scooty Doo.
In the 1990s, he's a boykie.
He's a Squiddo.
He's one of those. He's a Sproggo.
That's it.
So, 10 Things was his first movie, American Hollywood movie, I should say. Here's what the director said about him.
He's
quote,
beautiful.
I realize I'm reading a lot of quotes, but there's just so many. Quote, Heath walked in and I thought to myself, if this guy can read, I'm going to cast him. There was an energy to him, a sexuality that was palpable. When Heath was done, literally with the first page, I said, okay, you can put down the script. You're doing great. I want to do a little improv with you. I just wanted to see how fast his mind would adapt comedically. After 35 seconds, I said, okay, fantastic. But I could tell he was nervous that he blew it because the audition was so quick. And I said, no, you're a very talented guy and I really appreciate you coming in. The instant the door closed, I turned to the women in the room and said, ladies, I have never wanted to sleep with a man, but if I had to sleep with a man, that would be the man. Please cast him immediately.
Aww.
End quote.
No, that was great. That's something I would say. If I had to sleep with a man, it'd be Heath Ledger.
Okay. Yeah. So this was a breakout role for him. And so Hollywood's like, this is the guy of the next generation. He's handsome and a serious actor, but also movie star, good looks and charisma. So they try. First, he has some sort of prestige supporting roles like The Patriot and Monsters Ball.
He's in Monsters Ball? I haven't seen that.
He's Billy Bob Thornton's son and he kills himself. It's very sad.
That's why I didn't see it again.
Yes.
Okay.
They attempt to put him as a star in movies like A Knight's Tale, The Four Feathers, The Order. It's all unsuccessful. The breakthrough comes with Brokeback Mountain, 2005, gets the Oscar nomination. I think he should have won, but it was like, he's 25 years old at the time. He's got a whole
life ahead of him.
I know. That's what sucks. But like, Brokeback Mountain is just an incredibly great movie, and I think it's like one of the great performances of the era. His performance in that movie, though I did realize he has to play like
Serious?
either cowboys or jokers to hide his Australian accent.
That makes sense.
But yeah, he's the guy for the next generation. And like he says to Batman at the end of The Dark Knight, you and I are going to do this forever. But obviously he then died of a drug overdose. And one of the most tragic losses. We should still be watching Heath Ledger in movies today.
Do we know the drug? I'm sorry if that's
it was prescription drugs he was abusing. And I mean, I remember when this happened, it was like one of the most shocking deaths. And this was before The Dark Knight, but you were already hearing like this performance is going to change everything.
I remember it felt like The Crow that way because I feel like because of how it happened, you knew this person was dead before you watched the movie. Mm-hmm. And it just made it all more everything.
I remember I went to see The Dark Knight in theaters with you, Patrick, but I don't remember, like, how do you feel about...
You did?
Yeah. About the Dark...
He still has his ticket stuff.
about that movie or just that performance.
I think it's one of the, and I'm not kidding, no hyperbole, I think it's one of the most astonishing performances I've ever seen. I watch it and I can't, I guess part of it's the makeup, but I just can't see Heath Ledger. I can't hear him. I can't see him. I can't imagine that's Heath Ledger. And then you tell me that's fucking Heath Ledger. Like, dude, how is that? It's just the most transformative performance. It's brilliant in every way. He completely deserved the Oscar and he is so fucking good.
That's true. It does. I could never see Heath Ledger until I watched this movie and I was like, wait a minute, that's the Joker.
Yeah. I think he's got the
he does a bunch
of
Joker smiles.
No, it's just his smile. He just has a very big, it's the most flashy thing on his head.
Yeah, and his hair is Joker hair in 10 Things I Hate About You. I was certain there was a he gets a haircut in the movie to be more acceptable.
No, he's not. No, he's already what she needs.
Yeah.
Just the movie poster. This shot that they have of them is just like.
I know, I love it.
It's such it shows you what's special about this movie. It's them. It's that it's serious. I don't know. It just hurts my heart to look at it in a good way.
Yes, I totally agree. And the poster is just the two of them. Their two names are above the title.
Yep.
Not in this poster, but usually they are. But it must be weird to see all this marketing and then watch the movie and you're like, for 45 minutes, like this seems like an ensemble or like the Joseph Gordon-Levitt story. When is it going to turn into the movie from the poster? But eventually it does. So what were you going to say, Patrick? Who else was up for the role?
I'm glad you asked, Matt.
Segway man.
There are two actors that were considered, and one of them is really awesome and could have made it work, maybe. I can't imagine anybody but Heath Ledger doing this. But
who is
one
it,
that's awesome and one that sucks. And the one that's awesome is Josh Hartnett. Who
Josh Hartnett.
I just recently discovered is an amazing actor.
Right. I think we're all just now discovering it. I just found him to be like, just make my pants wet.
Idea.
There has been there's quietly been a cult of Hartnett among like film people for a long time. They're like, that guy is super underrated. He was never given a fair shot. He should have.
Yeah, because he was fuckboy.
His movies suck. Well, his movies suck.
Well, I don't know what it came
from.
Because it's like he was the lead in Black Hawk Down, but like I don't know what they took that from. But now obviously
he was in too many teen movies with a lot of unserious people, and I definitely think he got typecasted. I don't think people remember he's really good at acting.
I love The Faculty, and I forget that he's even one of the people in it.
Well, and was it 40 Days and 40 Nights? I remember that making me super horny, and before I got horny a lot.
Oh, we should watch that sometime.
I'm thinking,
no reason.
That's hot.
I love not having sex.
No, they have this like tantric like tickling session, and I'm like, oh my underparts.
Wow, I haven't seen Lacey get this excited about fiction since she talked about Twilight.
Okay, that makes me hot too.
Who else was up for the role?
So he would have totally ruined the movie, and thank God it didn't happen. But Ashton Kutcher.
God, he would have ruined it. Oh, Matt,
he would have ruined every second.
You're so right. He could never have done this.
No, I'm very anti-Kutch on this podcast. I've been told that's incorrect, but
I think Kutch is good in the right roles. I like him.
He's handsome.
When we did the butterfly
Where's My
effect, we
Car?
learned that Josh Hartnett was also up for that role, and it's like, oh,
It
okay,
would've
that
been
would have made it a much better movie.
But
That's because they looked the same back then. They looked like
they
almost
really
identical.
did look a lot like.
And we say this all the time, but when we watch Dude, Where's My Car? we're
I know. It's the guy with three names. That's
I
good.
was a kid and I watched this movie, I assumed these two guys were the same. Now as an adult, I realize one of you is a mega talented, funny guy, and one of you is a hack.
And one of you is Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the movie is released on March 31st, 1999. That's the same day a certain other movie got released. Who can name that movie?
You know, it's not me.
Oh,
Patrick?
is it The Matrix?
It's The Matrix.
Dang. Oh, stealing thunder.
Which is like this.
Couldn't they have had a Barbenheimer moment?
I know.
Oh, 10
And-
things I hate
'Cause I
about
put
The
on my notes-
Matrix.
I put on my notes that it opened second in the box office opening weekend behind The Matrix.
Yes, with $8 million.
10 things I hate about The
Research-
Matrix.
research
It
wins.
could have had a Barbenheimer.
10 things I hate about
10
The
things I hate
Matrix.
about
Yes.
The Matrix. There's
It's
at
just
least
too.
10.
Yes, the internet just wasn't ready.
They weren't ready. They didn't know.
And every oral history I've read, the producers are like, God damn it. Why?
You can't
if we
know.
could have just.
You can't know. Wait
Because-
a week.
Because The Matrix was a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah.
It was everything. It was all anybody was talking about. And this movie did 10 Things I Hate About You went on a run, became a nice little hit, $38 million on a $13 million budget.
Wow.
And I'm sure it's made hundreds of millions of dollars on cable and airplanes and home video.
Do you think
and
there's
stuff.
like a 10 things I hate about you gymnasium at that school? Like because of the money that they paid? For
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
I was just
Oh,
wondering.
just
Dedicated
a plaque,
to Julia
yes.
Stiles, this bathroom stall.
there should be.
I think so.
I hope so.
I
I
hope
would
they
think
sell
there is.
tours of the roof.
That is a high school I would like to visit, but I
God.
mean, you know,
Did you notice that? I mean, there's hardly any scenes where they didn't find a way to get the water in. There's water in the background of like their home and the school and every place that they go. And
It's
I
there.
want to
It's-
go to there.
it's there. It's a special effect. You might as well film it. You might
It's
as
beautiful.
well get it while you
But
can.
you just know that movie, I mean, that town is not nearly as majestic half the year. Bitch is cold.
Well, it's Washington. I mean,
I know,
it's
it's
Seattle's Tacoma area, so
Washington.
yeah, fuck that place.
Ugh.
Before you move on from the box office, first I want to say box office doesn't mean shit. The Wild Wild West made $222 million. I don't
Patrick,
understand. It's universally hated.
The movie is a beautiful baby. And how dare you?
Not universally hated, it would seem.
I
Yeah,
universally like it.
I mean, yes, it did have an 8% on Metacritic score, so I guess
I
you're
will
one
see
Lacey,
it.
well.
Lacey has a
8%.
lot of clout on Metacritic.
Oh, like, I love Kevin Kline,
I
and
love
I
Kevin
liked Will
Kline.
Smith back then. So it had the materials, it just didn't come together.
I don't like the way you just said that.
And then the other thing is, 10 Things made 53 million worldwide. And
I just like that Patrick is on a first name basis with this movie. I love it. I love that it's 10 things.
10 things.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna say the whole
my
thing every
thingy's
time.
doing a thingy. Oh, I touched it. We're good.
Okay.
This only made 53 million, while as I said, much shittier version of the movie She's All That made 103 million. So
It just
take
can't.
that
It just
for what
hit
you
it the
will.
right time. It has to be the Matrix effect.
No, it
If
was the
you're-
stars.
Well, I mean,
it
you're,
was Pretty Friends was on top of the world at the time,
sure.
and Rachel Lee Cook was probably a big deal too. I don't know.
Because of that movie. I will say this. I think Julia Stiles is great. Of the 4 performances across these 2 movies, I think Rachel Lee Cook's is my favorite performance.
God,
I think she's really special in that movie. I do ultimately like 10 Things I Hate About You more, but She's All That was set up for me to think this is a shitty movie, and I thought it's a really fun, lovely kind of little movie. And it's so many similar plot things happen in that movie, but you're like, these are such different takes on the material. They look and feel so different. That's also a Miramax movie. It has this faux like indie Sundance filter on it. So
She's
it
All
feels
That?
like, yeah. So it feels like you're watching.
But it's the ultimate girl with glasses, shakes her
It's
hair.
not, no, it's not
But
though.
Here's
It's
my
not.
biggest problem with that movie, though, is that so in my notes I wrote down that 10 things. There's 2 things that a lot of movies try and fail at. One is trying to be a modern version of a classic, whether that's classic literature or classic movies. Remakes suck. Trying to be a modern version of things sucks. So this really did source material justice, unlike most things. And the other thing was that there's a million movies that do the now very trite trope of someone dates someone for money or a bet or whatever reason, and then they fall in love,
During
and
this
a
time,
lot
yes.
of times. Yeah. And a lot of times it doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't make sense, at the end. Like that's how I felt with She's All That. And maybe I need to watch it again, but I felt like they didn't have any deep moments. They didn't have a lot in common. It's like, yeah, Freddie Prinze turns out he's actually a nice guy deep down, and she could probably teach him a lot, and maybe they can be friends. But it didn't feel right when they got together at the end.
No.
What's great about 10 Things I Hate About You is that it is immediate. Because it's such a flimsy thing, it is just $50. It starts at $20. And I'm like, he's going to say yes to $20?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And it's like, Heath Ledger likes her almost immediately. And it's like the two have been at a really big school, have been in their mean person bubble because it's protecting them. And as soon as they see each other, it's just, they both kind of soften. And I mean, and it's so, if I had to believe that someone would actually do anything for a bet that is like this, that's how it would be. Either it would perfectly be like, okay, no, I'm kind of interested in this for more than just the money, or fuck, this is I don't need $50. Those are the two ways it'll go. And I think it just felt really real. Where she's all that, it's a bit much.
I think it's a bit much.
Agree. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
Lacey's on your side.
You're going the opposite way.
No.
Lacey's on your side, but again, I watched the movie this morning. I think it's contrived in both movies, but it's like, I know what I'm watching. I have to just accept. Okay, you're getting paid to take her out. Paul Walker made a bet with you, and now you have to do it. And she's all that. He also likes her immediately.
Yeah.
And you realize he is himself putting on a con.
Yeah,
he is
you're
actually.
Right.
He's a jock, but he's also really smart. He's like, he's tells
from
her,
the Fabelmans.
he tells her, she's like, what, you want me to tutor you? And he's like, I have the third highest GPA in the class. And he lies to her and says that he's into art. So he goes to a performance art show and she calls him out and she's like, hey, does Freddie Prinze want to come on stage and do a number? And he has to go.
Sack,
so he does this hacky sack thing and it's unbelievable. It's so funny. And you can see that it is awakened in him. Like, wait a minute, I think I love art. And I thought that her taking the glasses off thing would be ridiculous, but it's like she already knew she was hot. She just like, I wear glasses because it's practical.
I haven't seen it in 20 years.
It's like it's like Clark Kent with the glasses. You know, you don't know he's Superman.
You know what the problem with movies like Scary Movie and Nine Other Teen Movie is they've completely poisoned the well. Those things are so much more memorable that I forget. No, there's a reason why those movies were popular and good, and they didn't feel like it just that because it's a trope and because it's been made fun of, those can stick a little bit.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. I also don't like that mean girl tells her she should kill herself.
And she's all that?
That's mean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. They turned 10 Things I Hate About You into an ABC family show
Tell
for
them
one
to
season.
stop it.
Gil Junger.
Starring Larry Miller.
Larry Miller reprised his role. Gil Junger directed the pilot and 7 additional episodes. It was canceled after one season. And then
Fuck is Larry Miller?
the dad.
I love Larry Miller so much.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would watch the show. I haven't seen it yet, but I actually did.
10 Things I Hate About Life, starring Evan Rachel Wood and a man who I don't remember. This is a loose sequel. I think it's like the what men want to what women want.
Oh yeah,
but it's the same director and same producer. It's Gil Junger. But this movie got there was production troubles. The financing, apparently they lost the financing mid-production, and so the production had to stop. And then Evan Rachel Wood had to deliver a baby, and then they blamed her on the movie never getting started up again. Anyway, this is one of the famous movies that they have footage of that they just abandoned.
Oh God.
So maybe release the 10 Things I Hate About Life cut.
Is it like
Mr.
the original
President.
13 Reasons? Fucking.
I will give you the very little money I have.
The very little money.
Whoever's listening,
Mr. Cotta. That's the teacher.
you can have one of my monopolies. No, I take that back.
Whoever does it will get my vote. You hear me?
Oh.
Release the 10 reasons.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, from the shit from Westworld and
I've never seen it.
And 13 and Across
it.
the Universe and
I've never seen any of these fucking movies.
All
I'm
right.
looking at I've never seen any of these.
all right.
Can you believe
gotta be
that
more.
was just the history part?
Lacey's turning into a pumpkin. All right, the film opens. It's in Seattle. It's been one week since I've never considered Bare Naked Ladies. Despite me loving Weezer, I've never been interested in listening to Bare Naked Ladies. I feel like they go kind of hand in hand. Anybody else have any Bare Naked Ladies?
I was a big fucking badge of honor that I listened to the song over and over again until I completely memorized it so that I could sing it in total anytime it came on the radio.
I am impressed by that, actually.
I still know all of it.
Do it.
Oh, right. On my way. Chinese chicken.
You have to sign a waiver.
Have a drumstick and your brain starts sticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on. A Taylor Mason. Okay, smoking.
Donna Mason. Okay.
Yeah. Hot like wasabi when a bus rhymes. Be like Leanne rhymes because I'm all about values.
What is the other?
Got the mad hit. Mad switch.
He tried to hold me, but a bus loose as you get sugar. So he's like, you have to sign a waiver because you know the vertigo. God, okay, I don't remember it.
So some teeny boppers are rocking out in their convertible, and then we hear the most dangerous song of all. I don't give a damn about my bad reputation.
That's another thing. The needle drops in this movie are maybe a little bit too on the nose. I do appreciate that our favorite band is a band that I don't really know who they are, and so that works for me.
Bikini Raincoat Killers.
Who?
Or the other one, Letters to Cleo or Bikini Raincoat Killers?
The blonde. Oh, those are the two live performances in the movie, Patrick?
No, he mentions Bikini Raincoat Killers.
No, I'm talking about that.
These guys aren't bad, but no Bikini Raincoat Killers.
I'm saying her favorite band is a local band. I like that. I like that she goes to concert all the time. And it's interesting that these teenagers both have bars where they can drink and smoke.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But
Seattle was wild.
You can say the needle drops too precise or whatever. I wrote in my notes it's a great musical juxtaposition. You got the Plastics come down with their happy-go-lucky song.
No, I get that.
Next to them is Cat and it's the perfect song representative.
I'm just
saying, a girl can do what she wants to do, so that's what I'm gonna do, and I don't have to please no one.
I think it works for Cat because there is a bit of put on about her. So yeah, I think that these are the very accessible songs that we all know, but they're supposed to be like deep cuts that they're like true to her, and it's like, come on, then why do I know the song, baby? Like.
Yeah, and to be clear, it works. I like it. It's fun. That's a great song. And
I don't like that her old shit car is a choice. Your dad's a fucking doctor. You live in a mansion.
True.
You could just have a nice car, but you're like performing lower class. I don't fucking like it.
But later in the movie, when she says that she doesn't care what people think, she means it. And well,
it's more than not caring what people think. She likes to do the opposite of what they think she will do. So if she's rich and could have a nice car, she wants to have a shit car.
Tell me how much her clothes
But the song is literally telling you, I don't give a damn about my reputation. And then later,
no,
it's cruel to be kind. It's cruel that you're doing this to me, Heath Ledger, by being kind to me.
Yes,
the lyrics are on the nose, but they work. It's
back.
All right. This high school,
they're perfectly on the nose.
Padua High School. Get it, Padua.
I get it now.
Mm-hmm. Joseph Gordon-Levitt visiting the guidance counselor, Miss Perky, who's writing a romance novel. And I thought we would get a lot more Allison Janney in this movie.
Like she was there for 3 scenes and then gone completely.
They probably had her for they had her for a day of filming, probably.
At least every adult that's in it, though, is fantastic. Whether it's Allison Janney scenes or the teacher scenes.
It's just like Grease. The adults shine. They are not background characters. They are fucking delight.
I think for a teen comedy, especially for like a classic one, having adults as little as like spices in the soup, doing weird stuff like later the soccer coach like confiscating the pot and then the bag of Cheetos. You're like, this serves no purpose other than just to delight
Patrick, me. I couldn't remember. Is that actor from Police Academy movies or is he from Night Court? I could not remember. But I knew him.
I don't think it's Night Court because I would know if it's Night Court.
Okay. I knew you
like an idiot.
I knew you were a Night Court man.
Yeah, John Larroquette is television gold. I mean, they remade Night Court, or whatever you call it, reboot or whatever the fuck you call it.
They revived it.
He reprises his character in the show.
Oh, wow,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Him.
So so it must be Police. There's something so familiar about that shitty little weasel face he has. It must be Police Academy.
I agree. Yes, I thought I
what is this?
Something, but I have no idea what.
Yeah. Anyway. He's a character actor, and it's perfect. And it's like there are very sexual moments with teachers in this movie twice. Once with the guidance counselor, and then that, and it's like, how is this working? Why am I not repulsed by this?
I tell you, that's the second thing that I could criticize about the movies. I'm a little bothered by how long he looked at her breasts when she flashed them.
Yeah,
Like,
it even for high school, then that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, you like, what are you? Oh shit, and that's what I mean.
Exactly, right? No, right.
No, yes,
You're
you like I don't know. You turn around or something.
Also, you're part of the soccer thing, which is like the biggest part of her life. The thing you see her doing the most is doing soccer practicing, and she's good at it. So it's like, you're going to see him again, Kat. You've really set up a weird fucking dynamic with you guys.
But that's why it's so romantic.
Just waited
that's why
30
it's
minutes
so romantic. She is detonating this avenue of her life because she's in love. All right, let's meet David Krumholz. He's going to walk around Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is Cameron, right? Yeah. Krumholz is Michael. He is apparently the best friend in the universe because he knows this guy for 2 days and devotes his entire life to helping him get
sometimes
laid.
It just clicks. Like,
Yep.
hey, you remember how it was with you and me? It just clicked. You know?
You were always trying to help me
you
get
around
laid.
for 2 years.
Yes.
But it is clear from the start that this guy's floating around. He knows everything about everything at the school. He fits into nothing. But this new kid doesn't know that.
But I tell you what,
Let me make
somebody
myself
might disagree with
useful.
me. I'll try to make this the last rant I go on for the podcast. But
Sure.
Bullshit.
So I was thinking about this, and movies need exposition, and there's good exposition and bad exposition.
Sure.
And bad exposition is when people say things that they normally wouldn't say, that they
Yes.
have no reason saying, things they already know. Like the guy comes home from work and the wife says, "Oh,
Hey, son."
hi, honey." She says, "How was your day? I know things have been tough since the zombie apocalypse started a year ago when the Russians released that toxin, but the job the government gave you as a zombie hunter is really helping us financially." "Yeah, and the president said if I can just finish this one job, the one where I have to make it to Houston from here in California,
What is
where
this
we
a quote
live."
from?
No, I made it up.
Oh, Jesus
I want to watch that
Christ.
movie though. It sounds good. I want to know more about this.
If I can get to Houston and kill the zombie leader, we'll be set up for life. And then that reminds me of the Spaceballs, what they do in Spaceballs, where they tell the whole plan, even though they already know the fucking plan. All right, hey, we have the princess. She's going to give us the codes, the air shield, and we're going to suck their oxygen and say, "Planet Gerudia." And then Rick Moranis looks at the camera and says, "You got that?"
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They talk to the audience. Like, it's hilarious. Yes, because that's just so stupid, to say things that you already know. Whereas in this case, it's something very simple, but him being the new guy, but it works. I mean, it allows you to learn about the people.
And it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle many movies have used, is the tour. Right. Like, now let me tour you around this place and give it. Right. It's good, but it's
not genius exposition, but it's acceptable.
And they poke fun at themselves while they're doing it too, because they're giving you the class types of people. These are the very specific kinds of kids that we have here, and these are the cowboys.
Yeah.
I love that there's cowboys. It's like, I know this is dumb. People are not this like fucking defined in a box, but for this movie, they are. And here's some cowboys.
I think this part of the movie sets it up like this is going to be a much more broad comedy than it ends up being.
Yeah.
With all the caricatures and the Rasta white guys and
those are the parts. Yeah. They are misfits in this movie.
They set up with Larisa Oleynik and Gabrielle Union. They're like, they're so shallow, and you hear them and they're like, I love my Prada bag, but I also love my whatever. And this kind of goes totally away, the idea that she's totally shallow, right?
It doesn't totally go away, but there's a lot more of her sister in her than you get. They are both having performances. This school has a lot of roles, and you pick one. And I think Bianca is figured out her role. It was given to her. Let me just do this. I'm not supposed to be deep. I'm not supposed to be complicated. And then Kat decided to go opposite. I'm totally complicated. I'm completely deep.
Yeah.
They're both performances, and it goes away because it only takes getting to know somebody to realize nobody is that defined.
Krumholz is telling us all of this, and he's introducing these two sisters, and don't think about dating them because they're not allowed to date. Write that down. Not allowed to date. The Stratford sisters cannot date.
I just like anyone that's the Stratford sisters. Yes. Tell me more. All right. What, Patrick?
He calls her vapid, conceited, and a snotty little princess. All great descriptions of Bianca. And those are things she is. And so to get to what you're saying, though, she is conceited, and she does like or she thinks she likes this attention. Like, it's not a total out of nowhere transformation that Bianca has.
It's not. Yeah.
Like it makes sense when you think about it.
She's been called out on it, and that's
she thinks she likes this attention, but she realizes it's all shallow attention. It's meaningless attention. People don't actually know who she is. They just think she's hot.
Well, and
whereas Cameron actually gets to know her and likes her for who she is.
And it's attracting people who can only get this kind of attention. Rather, that's when she really learns it. She's like, me acting this way attracted this model, and now I have to hang out with this fucking model who really is this shallow. And that's really what turns her off. I do not like Cameron's like Mr. Good Guy flip. I never saw it as toxic before, but now where I am now, he's like, but I was nice to you, you fucking cunt.
It's insane.
It's so disgusting.
He's a bit of a creepy stalker.
No, and it's not the stalking part. It's that he's owed something.
The stalking you have to accept.
He lied and forced himself into her life with intel, pretending to be something that he was, and then he frames it as this big gift. I learned French for you. I didn't ask you to fucking lie to me, dude. I owe you nothing.
And this is just the old like rom-com thing. It's like,
I know.
It's the Lloyd Dobler from Say Anything. If you like a girl, she owes you something in return. When of
show
course,
me pussy now.
she doesn't owe him anything.
Right.
And we also just haven't seen, he's like, you can't just treat people this way. It's like, she hasn't done
Like,
anything
what?
to you.
Did you even really want to go sailing with me? You mean that one thing you said one time
That
while we
she
were
didn't
doing
even get a chance to respond to.
I didn't even respond, man. Do I need to go buy some yacht gear?
You don't even want to go sailing.
I don't even like my boat.
That's why this movie should have been 30 minutes longer. They could have added a couple more scenes of them.
It perfectly worked in 1999. No one expected more out of guys, and I totally read this as romantic. I was like, she should be. Because of course Bianca's choices are horrible model douche and little pipsqueak needy man. Of course that's the only options. It never occurred to me she could have a third.
There are a couple things in the movie that are a little problematic, but I try to not hold things against movies when that was just how the times were, you know.
Well, but it's lazy.
It doesn't make it okay, but no, I agree with you for the most part.
I just think Heath and Kat are examples of how you can take a simple script and make it and still make it good, where these actors just weren't as prepared to do that. He comes off as a sniveling little entitled.
There's a lack of emotional intelligence that the movie has with their relationship, I think.
And he does not read as a senior. I had no idea. I would have never guessed all those people were in the same
he could
grade.
be a junior, huh?
He's at prom.
I mean, Jogo?
Our prom was junior senior prom.
Yeah, it was.
Well, they never say that.
They never say that.
Yeah, no, I know. So
you guys discuss. I got a P plus get one.
Okay.
But what did you just say though? I was going to say. I was going to ask. Do you think so? Yes, we both think the Cameron, Bianca, whatever. But do you think we'd feel different if they were played by Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I do. I think that. Again, I don't love the script. I think that those two performances, and obviously it's the roles they're playing, but I think they're so magnetic and charming. And these two people, remember, these are sitcom actors playing in a movie for the first time. Mm-hmm. And I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is good. He's pretty good in the movie. I just don't like the character as written. But I think he's pretty charming. And then Oleynik, I think she's just out of her depths in this movie. Being in coming from a Nickelodeon kids sitcom, The Secret World of Alex Mack, to trying to play one of the major roles in the movie. She seems out of her depth, but it's if you put in the two leads into this role, I would like it more. I wouldn't like it as much as I like them in the roles they have.
Yeah, I think we noticed the lack of chemistry between the characters or lack of development between the characters' relationship more because the actors aren't selling it as well as the others do.
What I ultimately like about this movie is it's not the gimmick. It's not like the gimmick of he's paid to try to like her or whatever. It is literally, I just like seeing them be together. I like them playing paintball with each other and talking with each other and him helping her when she's drunk. That's like
everything feels natural, like authentic. Everything feels authentic. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like, why are they getting together? That doesn't make any sense. It feels natural. And
you see them surprising each other, especially him surprising her. I love when she smiles reluctantly at the things he says. There's none of this is like revelatory. It's not like this is nothing we've ever seen before, but there's just a thrill in watching two really charming actors have chemistry with each other and just getting to spend time together. I did write the script is seeming a little Joss Whedon-y to me with all the one-liners. Like Heath Ledger goes into the English class. He's like, what I missed then in this class? And Kat turns around. She's like, the oppressive patriarchal values that dictate our education. It's like this is a little much. Mr. Morgan, the English teacher, has no time for snooty cat, and we said this already. It's important that she gets called out right away for
her privilege.
Play acting as somebody more oppressed than she actually is, which doesn't mean that what she's going through isn't real.
Right. You can still feel pain and loss.
Yes.
And you can only experience your own life. So there's a scale, and she's experiencing the lower part of that scale right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We talked already about like they have the scene where they're just walking around the playground explaining all the groups. Gabrielle Union, I think, is 25 years old in this movie.
Wow, she looks so young.
Yeah.
She goes on to do like a million things.
She's also the best friend in She's All That the same year.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I mean, that's fucking criminal. But she's also like the other cheer squad leader from Bring It On, right?
She is?
Yeah. She's just. She came up in a bad time because she's gorgeous and is capable of so much more. So if anyone's pissed, she's got the right to be. It makes sense why she's like, you don't want to take this fucking step up the social ladder? I will, bitch. It is strange to me, though, that they don't manage to give Bianca a real friend in this movie. I mean, she seems kind of completely alone. She just has this one friend, and this one friend turns on her. She's got if for someone that pretty, she should have a whole friend group. It's interesting that Bianca's really not as plugged in, maybe because she's a sophomore, not a freshman, right?
Yeah, sophomore.
Right. It's like, but someone that pretty would have a clique.
Yeah, you'd have a gaggle, but it's like, it's a movie. You can only have so many people who you're able to track. And
totally, and maybe that's the case, but it reads to me that her and Kat are more alike than you think. They're both loners in a way. She's just kind of built a wall around herself based on shallow friendships and talking points that make sense for the clique she's appearing to be a part of. Prada bag, hair by Dross. Items.
We meet Larry Miller as their father. He is so freaking funny and charming,
delivering the craziest cringy fucking lines, but they're great. He's so good.
Yes, almost every line out of his mouth is hilarious. That's what she would have said. She wasn't so doped up.
From a different person to be like, come on, Dad. But the way that the girls respond to it sell it even more, and particularly the way that Kat and him interact. It's like, no, this is a good dad. This dad is a busybody. He's to put in this much effort is a way of parenting well, just because it's so high effort.
Yeah, and Kat is accepted to Sarah Lawrence, which is, East Coast liberal arts college, and that means you're going to the other side of the country. And he would always have had a hard time with this, but because he's now a single father, he's like feels it especially hard that you're going to be leaving me.
And he has abandonment issues because of the mom leaving.
I love the line he says near the end when he tells her she can go to college. He says, Bianca still lets me play a few innings, but you've had me on the bench for years.
Well, because she graduated up to spouse once mom left, and that's not fair. It's just it's naturally what happens, and you end up, because they are peers. Besides her, she has no reason to not rebel against his rules, to not be sneaking around, to actually be fucking everything that walks. That's what a daughter would do who didn't respect and love her dad. She respects and loves him, and she knew that she needed to fill that motherly role in a sense, or just more partner. Like, don't worry, Dad, just raise Bianca. I'll take care of me. Like, that's what she did for the family. But it's all the only thing that's not completely viable is how much Bianca and her don't get along. That doesn't make sense to me.
They don't feel like sisters to me.
They're such a tight-knit family.
I blame Larisa Oleynik, though.
Yeah. That's the weakest link. She doesn't seem like she fits in this family at all.
Yeah. It's funny, like She's All That also has the single dad. There's also basically the exact same conversation. Kevin Pollak plays the dad, and he has like sometimes it's almost like we forget I'm your dad.
Yeah.
He doesn't literally say you're not my wife, but it's like, yeah, we need to remember you're not the woman of the house, or you're not my wife, basically.
Right.
And Pretty in Pink, Harry Dean Stanton has the conversation with Molly Ringwald. It's like all these teen comedies need to have a single father with a.
Well, so do all the Disney movies. They need missing parents, and right.
But specifically single fathers with teenage daughters. It's like that always has to be the dynamic for some reason.
Yeah, if you want the person to be really responsible and kind of playing against their normal teen role, it's because they've lost some of their well, they've lost their childhood, and you can't. But I mean, I think I'm proof that you can do that with the
With the
mom
mother,
being
yeah.
there and the dad not being there. But God, there are those movies, and those movies are actual dramas when it's the mom. There's something about a dad you can kind of like, he's a goof. Oh, poor you not figuring things out. You're just a little silly man, aren't you? But when it's the mom, it's tragic.
This is a great point, Lacey. Yeah, it's the test you can apply to a movie. Is it a single dad? It's a comedy. Is it a single mom? It's a drama.
Right. Like Anywhere But Here, and the Susan Sarandon one with Natalie Portman. I always fucking forget what it's
That's
called.
where the heart is.
No, that's not. That's
Stepmom?
not the right. No, Matt. No,
Wait,
I think
what
it's
were you
Anywhere
saying?
But
Natalie
Here.
Portman and who?
Anywhere
Yeah,
But
it's Anywhere
Here,
But Here. I was gonna say,
and Where the Heart. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah.
And but there's these very serious movies, and so anything between a daughter and a mother's got to be like, where were you? You know, it can't be light. You can't have a drunk mom and that be okay. Drunk mom, you're
It's a love
fucking about to be a murderer or about to get raped. There's going to be some SA if you've got a drunk mom.
We can make a grid. We'll make a grid. It's a PDF attached to this episode.
Yeah,
Open
please
it.
download.
I like that Larry Miller, he is a doctor. He was delivering twins, and he's telling his daughters, he's so afraid of them getting pregnant. And he's like, you know what the 15-year-old delivering twins said to me?
The most fucked up part of the whole movie. Okay.
I'm a crack whore. Should have made my boyfriend wear a condom.
He's like, oh, that would have been good. But no, she said, I should have listened to my father. And
They're like, no,
this
they
did
didn't.
not happen.
He's like, I know.
Well, that's what she would have said if she wasn't all doped up.
This is like Ronald Reagan. He would always just make up stories. He's like, well, mommy, I think of the woman who was on welfare who told me I should have gotten a job.
It is very privileged and short-sighted of what actually is the case when people are having children that young. But yeah, it's fine. We'll forgive it for its time.
He's charming. He's funny.
Yeah, no, Larry Miller delivers his lines so perfect. Like my favorite line of his wouldn't, a lot of people wouldn't sell it the way he does, but he says, they're going to the party. He says, no drinking, no drugs, no kissing, no piercings, no tattoos, no ritual animal slaughterings of any kind.
All right. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just so fucking funny because he's dead serious about it, you know?
That's a
It's
good
so
line, but of course it's no contest what the best line is, which is just, thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill.
What? When does that happen?
His neighbor throws him back his like armband. Thanks, Bill.
Yep. Yeah. I knew that was funny. We're like, help me.
Larry Miller still thanks Bill. Really funny. That's how good he is.
So yeah,
There's a hot tub on their deck.
Jogo asks Alex Mack out onto a French food. No, wait, Lacey, what happens with these two?
This is the first moment of their fucking tutoring, and he uses this as I'm your French tutor. Should we eat food together? Like,
On a date.
can you calm the fuck down? You look 4 years old, and I'm very popular.
Again, they needed more scenes. They just needed a couple more scenes.
No, I mean, I think it shows the fucking like entitlement that this guy feels right away, but he's not a bad guy. So it's just short-sightedness of the time, honestly. They didn't think it needed more scenes because anyone pining, anyone doing this, anyone making a bet, anyone like plotting things, falling in love at first sight, that's so romantic.
Okay, I think they needed more scenes because it was only watching it the second time that I realized that
Bianca even exists.
that she thinks that he explains to her, well, okay, so she's like, you're asking me out? That's so cute. Then she explains that she can't date until her sister dates. So he starts helping out with that. And she thinks he's doing that so that she can date Tony. But he thinks that she understands she's doing it so she can date him.
I don't think.
I think
Sure.
I think that's the misunderstanding that hurts his feelings so much.
Fine. But I think that they just have a very surface relationship and they're not really discussing the details. And I think she knows she has a crush on Tony, that she wants to see where that's going. Socially, it's the better move. And it's not until Tony. Is that his name?
Tony.
It's not until
Joey.
Thank you.
Joey
We've been
Donovan.
calling him Tony the whole time.
All right, whatever fucking shit. It's not until Joey
I was
reveals
like, is that his actor's name?
It's not until Joey reveals himself to be like completely uninteresting and uninterested in anyone else that she's like, okay, that I get it. She had that prospect. That's kind of a cool thing that she was chosen out of all the many. She's just a sophomore and he's the most popular guy. Let's see where that ship's going before I attach myself to this little tugboat. I think it makes total sense for her to wait it out and be vague and allow it to be like, oh, but I thought you wanted me. Bye. It's convenient and it makes sense for her character.
Wait, I don't think she even, I mean, okay, there's a deleted scene where she does know that Joey's paying Patrick, but from what we see in the actual movie, I don't know how she would know that. he has that plan. I mean, I think she just thinks he's going to find somebody to date him. And I don't, she doesn't know the details.
I'm saying
like,
that she has all the evidence she needs to know that this guy has a crush on her. That doesn't mean she should have a crush back. He's tutoring her. That's why they're hanging out. I'm saying she leaves it vague because she is interested in figuring out what's going on with Joey. And you know, this little guy, he'll be waiting around, and I'll get to him if it's ever time to get to him. In the meantime, I'll enjoy this. He's so cute.
I think it's more of a subconscious thing.
They talk about her sister. No one would want to date my sister.
She's a shrew.
An 18-year-old Julia Stiles? Fuck no. People
17.
don't want to do that. Yeah, but in real life, well, whatever. In the movie, she's 18, but in the actress is 17.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she's hot and mean. Guys hate that, except me. When I met a woman like that, I married her. And
I think as an adult,
hot
she's
mean.
attractive, but I'd never found her attractive in this movie.
They Krumholz, he's
Agreed.
like, here's what we have to do. We will find somebody, we will pay somebody to date the shrew, to tame the shrew, but we can't afford it on our own. We need a backer. And there's this thing earlier where he's like a member of a VC group or something, so it's just like, it's natural. We just need to find a rich guy and trick him into giving us money. So they go and they find Joey, aka Tony, who draws a dick on Michael's face.
Joey, aka Tony, draws a dick.
Yep. And Krumholz had to teach the actor playing Joey how to draw this because he didn't know how to draw a penis. He's like, here's how you draw a penis. And I don't know, it's
Just
funny.
draw your penis.
I don't remember the actor who plays Joey, but I think he is also very, very funny in
He's
this
good.
movie.
Yeah, and I know him from a
love
million
how-
things, and I can't think of any of them. But he's perfectly douchey.
Yes, deliciously douchey.
Deliciously douchey, deliciously coiffed, and he looks great in that little like tank he's wearing at one point. I'm like, okay.
But it is
I'll see you.
It is a little too complicated, and it's the adapting Shakespeare. It's like you have
Yeah.
a little too many threads.
You're right.
Running here, like you have the one guy who's trying to date this girl and paying somebody else, but you have these other guys.
The whole time you're thinking like, except for being a fucking delight, really, what is your motivation, best friend guy? Why are you doing this so hard? And the only thing that makes sense is truly, he fit in with no one. He's a floater.
Exactly.
It's his. He's basically the manager of all the teens. That's what he is. He just seems to know where everything is, and I think he's just like, this is my end. This is my end. I need a best friend. I need a best friend that'll have me.
Yeah, the group of people that he was in not only kicked him out of the group, but he probably wasn't never happy being in the group anyway with Bogey and those other Ivy League assholes. So he hasn't never had a real friend like Cameron, you know, and so he's delighted.
Although
like
Cameron's
I was
done
when Matt
nothing.
became my friend.
Yeah, Cameron's
Cameron's done
like a great
nothing
friend
for
either,
him.
but-
Cameron's all about
No, but Krumholz knows. He just
But
He feel
Cameron's
it.
a
They say
snack. He's a precious boy, and he's in his grade, and it's like, this is better than what I'm going to get anywhere else. Everyone else knows me.
Like in Hotel Transylvania, they zinged. So I wrote so they zero in on Heath Ledger as Patrick. Like there we go, that guy. He's the guy who's fucked up enough to want to date super hot Julia Stiles. He'll do it. We'll pay him. So they send Joey to go.
$20.
Yeah, I'll pay you $20.
We need a rich man. $20
Hey, I mean, it's $19.99. That's like $45.
at least.
He's like, well, let me think about this. I take her
How
out to the
many
movies.
dollary dues?
She's gonna want
She's
raisinets.
gonna want raisinets, right? Yeah,
I do.
love it when he says that.
I'm gonna have to bring my big knife. And he's like,
Baby knife.
oh, and then like the Joker, he says, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So he pays him I don't know, $100 or something. And Ledger says to him, you've got a deal, $50 and we got a deal, Fabio. Because he looks like Fabio.
No, because he's a model, and Fabio's a famous model.
This is kind of the joke writing of the movie that annoys me. It's like he calls him Fabio because he's a model and looks like Fabio. Like that's
He doesn't look anything like Fabio, Matt.
But it's like the most obvious thing in the world.
I
to
think
just
that's
call
funny.
him-
He's from Australia. Why should he understand American culture? I think it's fun. That line works because Heath Ledger can do one-liners. Julia Stiles cannot.
And then I think the line before that though is important because I think there is I want to think Patrick is a good guy through and through. And so you don't like that he's taking money to take out a girl, you know, but I think there's subtle hints throughout the movie that he's poor, that he doesn't have money and he might need that money. So he doesn't want to do it. He thinks it's a shitty thing to do, but he fucking really needs the money. Because before that, he calls him trailer trash. Or trailer park. He says
that's where
trailer
the
park.
And this is a very affluent, like place that they
Yes.
are. So
but that is where have the one scene at his house,
right,
at his trailer house.
Anyone, where are his people?
I was so surprised there's not a like, God, I could really use the money to buy my new bike.
But it's in the performance, right? Because of him being attracted by $30 more is like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like you just see that he needs it.
Because otherwise you're like, why are you doing this?
And also I think he's been waiting for an end to just, I'm not actually this mean guy. I'm not actually this surface level idiot fucking metal shop. And it's like, okay, give me something to do. Thank you. I needed a new role at the school, and maybe this person who is not dialed in to like what all these cliques are up to might actually like just look at me like a human.
I mean, it's like, just imagine if the movie was 30 minutes longer, like I said, and all these scenes that we think should be in it were in it. I mean, this
Give
would be an
Julia
11
Stiles a bra. Who's with me?
Oh, God.
Give her a fucking bra.
For
And
what?
I gotta say, her boobs are the least offensive boobs I've ever seen braless, and it's because they're
Yeah, I was
small.
gonna say, yeah.
Lacey has
Give her a fucking bra,
to be
man.
clear, Patrick, Lacey has
what?
He knows.
Lacey has a fucking thing where if a woman doesn't wear a bra, she's very
Vulnerable.
where Lacey thinks it's a bad movie.
No, I don't think it's a bad movie. I will say this is the only movie where it's felt like Julia Stiles made this choice. Not the actress, but the character. Kat would not wear a bra because she's a feminist, right? And like the kind of feminism literature she's like reading and is the thing that the clicky, the trendy thing for her type of person to do would be about burn your bra. Like it works here.
I like this line from Larry Miller. Because Julie Stiles, Kat, is having an argument with her dad about attending Sarah Lawrence. She's like, you never care about what I want. And he's like, you're 18. You don't know what you want. You won't know what you want until you're 45. And then you'll be too old to use it. That is a wonderful line.
Yeah.
Finally, Cameron and Michael, they go and interface directly with Heath Ledger. Patrick, I try to say character names, not actor names, but yeah, whatever. And they're like, listen, that thing with Tony/Joey, I know we're calling him both things, but don't worry about him. We're going to help you. We're going to get the inside scoop on Kat. We'll help you date him. We'll help you date her. And he says, so you two are going to help me tame the wild beast, eh?
I did the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Hey, from here on out, can we call him Joey Fatoni?
Joey Fatoni.
You got it.
Hey, Joey Fatoni.
No.
I love Tony Fabioni. I like when
we are calling him from now
there's
on.
a point where he's talking to I think Heath Ledger in the hallway. Heath Ledger leaves, and then Joey just looks at himself in the mirror and winks at himself. He just loves himself so much.
He's so sweet to himself.
Joey,
Which
Joseph
picture did you
Gordon-Levitt,
like better, the
and
white shirt or the black shirt?
The white.
the white.
He looks so much more pensive. See, that's where you get a peek into the fact that also Bianca is also putting on and just found her very narrow box, and she's going to put this on. But she says pensive, and what that means is thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
And so it shows right there. She's smart. She thinks he's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, "Oh fuck, you're not acting. You're not also doing what I'm doing. You actually are this."
Mm-hmm.
And so both sisters
Well, then
are.
they should have leaned into that more. Well, then they should have leaned into that more, because I always thought that was so out of place for her to know what pensive means.
They dropped the vapid thing almost immediately.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, it seems like she's a dumb blonde, but then she's no longer a dumb blonde.
No, because that's what this school has very strict slots for people to fill, and she's filling it. She wants a sure thing. Her mom left her too. Her family's kind of fucked up, even though they put on, right? So that's what she's putting on the face that she's been given. This is my role. I'm going to play it till it gets me where I need to go. It's just not getting her anywhere.
She and Cameron go into Kat's room and look for intel on her.
This is where I learned about black panties.
She has black panties.
Yeah, I
you
didn't
know
know
what that
that.
means? That means she
Does
wants
that really
to
mean
have.
that?
That means
Yeah.
she wants to have sex someday. She says, "It's like what, in 25 years? Okay."
I still wear the panties I wore when I was 14. So yeah, those work. They are stretched to shit.
And this is when I start to notice Oleynik, Larisa.
Just say one name. Pick
Oleynik.
a fucking name.
Larisa Oleynik from The Secret World of
Oleynik.
Alex Mack. Oleynik is doing the most face acting possible. She is always making 50 different facial expressions.
That's because
And they all suck.
it works here. It
It
doesn't
does not.
bother me.
No, that is not movie
doesn't.
acting. This is I'm in a sitcom. I'm in the broadest possible sitcom. I have 3 cameras on me. I got to make as much face business as I can do.
Yeah.
And
But her character is empty and putting on, and so it works for me.
So Cameron, fresh with the intel, gets his best friend Michael, and they go visit.
This is the missing scene. I'm sorry. Club Skunk is the only part where I'm like, why can't he be seen at Club Skunk? He's got connections there.
And the fucking
why can't he be seen there?
Hey, Verona, what you doing here? He's been there before. The bartender knows him by name.
And it's like the movie forgets to pay it off. What is this about? Except for that,
I know. That's why
it just alludes to like he's really plugged into the scene. He actually really likes these bands too.
That's what's frustrating. There's a missing Patrick movie here, and they need to release it for the sake of Patrick.
Just notice the GIF you have
I would
of Krumfeld or whatever his name.
Oh yes,
I would cut off 2 fingers on my left hand.
Krumholz has there's so many good physical comedy moments, like when he just picks up. There's some tough bikers playing pool, and he just picks up their 8-ball, looks at it, and then throws it.
He's like, but what he says,
and then the other guy immediately takes the money.
Oh my god, I love it so
much. And instead
of
beating the shit out of him, so he's just like this charmed figure just floating.
Exactly,
through life.
And it reminds me of what I love so much about the slums of Beverly Hills. It's just there's so many times where he's just like, what are you doing? That's hilarious. I love it.
Mm-hmm. He's great. He's always wonderful.
Fucking a mensch.
So good in Oppenheimer when he gives Oppenheimer an orange to eat on the train. You know?
Okay.
So yeah, they're
apparently.
Sorry?
Oh, before you... Oh, I was going to say, is that the Christopher Nolan movie that he was in? Is that Christopher Nolan movie, Oppenheimer?
Yeah, you've heard of this. You've heard of this movie, Oppenheimer?
I have no interest in seeing it.
It's good.
Yeah. It's the best. It's so good.
It's so good.
I know. That's
just trust
me. Like, I've been trying to get myself to watch No Country for Old Men because it's supposed to be this great movie, but I just couldn't care less.
Yeah, you can pass that one up.
So you're catching up with the movies of 2007,
right? Just Patrick, can you just trust me? Me and you have very similar sensibilities. You will like Oppenheimer. Have you seen Barbie? Have you seen Barbie?
I would. I have more interest.
There's a reason why Barbenheimer was a thing. That's why I'm saying this movie should have been 10 Things I Hate About the Matrix. This movie should have been Barbenheimer. People were going to the movie theater to watch both of these fucking amazing movies at once because it could have fucked over Barbie. It could have fucked over Oppenheimer that they came out at the same time. It didn't. They became one.
I have a feeling Oppenheimer probably wouldn't have been so successful if it wasn't directed by Christopher Nolan, but he has such...
what good is that? Yeah, I mean, I could have directed it. It would have been a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, his reputation is so big that you just say, "Hey,
the movie is good."
And nobody needs to know anything else.
No, I believe you. But they'll find it out once they go see it, and it's shit.
But
that's silly, Patrick. It's good.
That's like saying this Taylor Swift album wouldn't be as popular if it weren't a Taylor Swift album. Yes, but it is. It was made by.
The point is that it is.
No, but I think the plot wouldn't draw anybody in. I don't think anybody gives a shit about it.
It's
about
not
Robert Oppenheimer.
It's not.
People care because they like Christopher Nolan.
You tell that to the fucking guy on Jurassic Park who's got a picture of him on his desk. People care about Oppenheimer.
I mean, I think people would have seen Jurassic Park if it wasn't directed by Steven Spielberg.
No, I mean, he doesn't get my reference. It's literally on the desk. It's literally on the desk of the man that...
Well, I've never seen the movie, so I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay.
No, it's in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
the actual man, Oppenheimer, is on the desk of the character played by Knight. What's his name?
Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight.
So they're at the biker bar.
Anyway, Oppenheimer's
They're at the biker bar.
Biker bar.
Well, no, go ahead. I'm talking about the biker bar. So before you talk about how it doesn't make sense that he's at a bar drinking, I just want you to know that when I was 18 or 19, I was at the dungeon drinking beer.
Yeah, no. It makes sense. It's just it's so interesting to see it because like it just wouldn't be, and this couldn't be in the land of now that they scan your fucking thing. I had an ID with someone who was like 30 years old, and they just let me into places because they wanted that tang, that sweet poontang in the bar.
And you'd serve Heath Ledger if he came in looking like that. You'd serve him.
Of course.
He's born with a beer.
But they tell here's what we've learned about her. These are the CDs she has. These are the artists she likes. And he's like, these artists are all pussies. And then they're like, she wants to go. She could be seen at Club Skunk. And he's like, oh, I can't be seen at Club Skunk. Why can't you be seen at Club Skunk? I don't know.
Don't worry about it, mate. Right.
But then we cut ahead. We're now at Club Skunk.
Wait, but you messed up. I mean, you skipped the best line
apparently...
of the sidekick. And if it helps, she's got black underwear. Can't hurt him, all right?
She has a pair of black underwear. If that helps. Couldn't hurt, right?
It's so good. It's so good. All right.
David Krumholz, his awkwardness is just is beautiful.
Oh, here's another fucking part of the movie where I was like, I'm out. I need agua. Fuck
Oh,
you,
yes,
Julia.
I knew you would hate that.
Fuck you, Julia Stiles.
I knew you would hate her saying agua.
Out.
I don't like it either, but I guess, but I don't know, it doesn't bother me.
So
but
Club
apparently,
Skunk.
no guys could be seen in the Club Skunk because if you look at the scene,
On the dance
there's
floor, they're
literally
there.
not another man.
Right, which is
Is
why I'm
there?
like,
'Cause,
okay,
like-
it's a lesbian bar. That's why you can't be seen there. That like the whole time
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out why can you not be seen there. That's not it. There's men on the dance floor, but there's not until he gets on the dance floor.
So this
'cause
apparently,
he walks in, it's just woman after woman.
but this is Seattle in the '90s, so you're getting,
It's a big music scene.
you're getting the remnants of the grunge wave. You're getting cool indie rock. Apparently, this club is just for teenagers. They're going to serve them Coca-Colas, and this is enough
And
to
agua.
pay. This is enough to pay the bills for this giant overhead.
You don't know what Heath Ledger was drinking. He had something dark. It could have been a rum and coke.
I assume they're all just drinking waters and Coca-Colas, and it's just for spiffy
Guys.
little teens. Yes,
She's wearing her mother's pearls. Did you notice that?
she is.
She had a whole thing about Bianca wearing the pearls, and she's fucking wearing them.
Whoa.
I never
Aw,
noticed.
man.
So when she yells at her sister earlier, it's later. It's
Yeah.
because she's done it herself. And
No,
she's,
This is before.
Or
Yeah,
it doesn't
so
make
later-
sense.
No, this is after.
It's after.
This is after.
This is
Yeah,
after. She wasn't upset with her sister. She was jealous. Like I want the pearls.
Oh, this is after you're saying. Okay.
Well,
that's-
because Bianca's like, I look good in them. I'm pretty, and so I never noticed. She's like, but I'm pretty too. I can. She probably resents Bianca for getting to get the popular role and her having to take the other one. So she's like, you know what? But here I can be popular and pretty, and he just called me sexy.
I think. I think that's. I guess possible. I never thought that though. I never know she was wearing the pearls, so maybe what you're saying has a lot more weight than I previously thought. But when they were talking, she was talking to Bianca. Bianca says, "Well, it's not like she's coming back to claim them." And I think there's a part of Kat deep down that is hoping and thinking she will come back.
Of course.
So she wants to leave all of her stuff the way it is.
You take back over this
Don't
house.
touch her
You
shit.
start taking care of Dad, so I can leave that alone. Yeah,
Exactly.
You're right. So yeah, he starts like talking to her. He's like, "Hey, I like all the shit you like too, I guess." And she's like, "Really?" And then she smiles at him, and I have this gif of her smiling. It is so charming with her big teeth. And
because he calls her sexy, and you don't think that's going to work on a person like Kat. It shouldn't. It should repel her.
But it's
it's what she wanted, and she's wearing the pearls.
yes,
I'm just saying that's what gives away the fact that like she wants some of the conventional role stuff too. She just hasn't assigned herself that yet.
and because he says it as the entire club goes silent,
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
he's not embarrassed.
Yes. Yeah.
So she's like, "Wait a minute, Spider-Man meme. I think maybe you is me."
Me is you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't care what people think either.
This is one of those little moments that you need to have for it to make sense when they get together at the end, when they fall in love. Like this is one of those moments where it's sweet, and it's a heartwarming moment. It's just little things like that make the story fit.
So he asks her to go to Brony Lowenstein's party, Bogey Lowenstein's
Bony
party.
Boob and
What's a bogey?
Bronstein.
And she, I don't know, what does she say?
Why would I go to that?
But he says, was that a yes? No. Was that a no?
No.
No. Good line.
Good line.
See, the script isn't that bad. All right, tell us about,
what the fuck is this picture
what is the picture, Lacey? What are you?
of fucking Julia
Which one are
Stiles
you- which one
throwing
are
it
we,
back? Okay, it is
Okay.
Julia Stiles throwing it back, but she also like she's being exercised. Is she the exorcist? Look at this
A little
fucking.
bit.
This is
Not gonna
horrific.
lie.
Her
No, you could've
bones
picked a
are
better
breaking.
still.
That's broke bone lady right there.
It's a still from when Julia Roberts does her hip-hop
Julia
dance.
Roberts?
I know she's not Julia Roberts. Julia Stiles does her hip-hop dance.
And she's never looked better, everyone. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Anyway, this is one of the many times where Bianca begs Kat to please go to the thing so I can go to the thing. And she knows that Heath Ledger is going to be there, whatever. She's got that on her mind. So she's like, okay, I'll just fucking go to it. And I think it's kind of badass that she just wears what she's wearing. Bianca got all dressed up and she's like, I'm just going this. Let me just throw on a fucking Trinity trench coat, which is interesting because The Matrix came out. Yep. And then Mr. Miller here is like, let's put on the belly. You just wear it for a minute. Anyway, he makes Bianca wear the pregnant person tits and belly. to just remind her, don't fuck anyone while you're on this little outing. And that's what happens. What are you asking me to say?
Just to share the burden of explaining the movie. So Heath Ledger shows up and he's going to take her to the party. But once at the party, there's not much interfacing between Patrick and Kat. And he's like, where is Kat? I would like to be with Kat. But she encounters Tony. And I realized this the second time around. There's actually, he's Tony. I
guess he's Tony now.
I like with the pearls, like there's subtle shit going on with her. Yeah. We don't realize why she is triggered with her interaction with Tony to then go get drunk. But watching it the second time, you realize she hates him because
I didn't need it the second time. But right, yeah, like he took her virginity.
Yeah, second time. Yeah.
But that's what she was not binge drinking before she had that interaction.
Of course, right, and she's not racing around the party to get away from Heath Ledger. She's trying to find her sister because she does not want her virginity be taken by the same fucking guy. Like there's only one thing worse than that having happened to her is that on her watch, she lets it happen to her little sister, who she begrudgingly is the mother of right now.
Yep.
And so that's why she's going all around the party. It's not to be difficult. It's not to be fucking quirky. It's like, fuck. This is exactly the kind of environment where this happens. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't give her sister the credit because her sister's playing the role of something very vapid. She's not.
Yeah, her sister realizes she doesn't like Joey without her sister's guidance.
Exactly, right.
Didn't need her.
There is a decent arc for Bianca.
Yes, and later when Bianca and Kat have the heart to heart where she says like, "Well, I'm trying to protect you," she's like, "But you don't need to protect me. That's not your job." And like these are things for me to find out on my own.
Right.
I am my own person.
Right. Well, and I will say my favorite Bianca line in the entire movie is when good boy fucking Jogo, whatever the fuck you've been saying, is like, have you always been this selfish or conceited or something? And she's like, yes. Mm-hmm. And I just like that she knows the role she's been playing and she is self-aware. And you only need self-awareness to grow and be interesting in my book. So...
She does her fucking hip hop dance and everybody loves it except for her sister and for Heath Ledger.
But it ends just like just like Clueless. She hits her head on a light. Why is everyone rolling with the homie? Everyone hits their head on a goddamn light in the fucking 90s. Put the lights higher.
Would a cool girl indie rocker know how to do all this hip hop dancing?
That's the point.
Know. She's putting on.
I always thought. I mean, this might be how she got the role in Save the Last Dance, but I always thought her dancing was horrendous.
No. Sorry, from a dancer to a dancer. It's good. She's improvising. There's not a ton you can do on a kitchen table, but it works. And she gets on all fours, and it's like good. Like I don't know. I didn't remember this being good until this time, and I was like, okay, no, this is decent.
Gil Junger apparently he said he was friends with Paula Abdul. And he said to Julia Stiles, he's going to have a big choreographer who works with Paula Abdul work with you. And she says, but I can just dance. I can do it myself. And he's like, oh, okay. And he said, as a first-time director, he didn't know that you shouldn't say no to an actor saying that. He just let her do it, but it ended out working out.
It's realistic.
She didn't need a choreographer. She did this on her own.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just...
Yeah, and Julia Stiles said later she never would have, because she was young and dumb, didn't know what she didn't know and wouldn't have had the guts to do it later in her career.
Let me ask you all a question that I already know the answer to.
All right.
Ebert, I got a quote from Roger Ebert's review of the movie. Mm-hmm. He says, the music is subtle and incentive while still cheerful. And before that, I was writing down, I noticed that the music is always... very pertinent to the scene. It fits really well. And also the lyrics that they decide to play at that moment are very spot on, which you probably don't like.
Shut up, Matt.
Being paid. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you might think it's just too spot on. Like I love Bad Reputation in the beginning, describing Kat to a T. Like they pick the perfect part of the line. Well, do you think that so in this scene, when Cameron sees Bianca and he's ready to give up and the song that's playing says, I've been wasting my time with you. You'll never be mine. And so do you think that's just too spot on?
Yes.
You think when they do that?
Yes, I don't like it.
I don't mind it.
Maybe the first song, when they're going in the window of the house, maybe that one's not too spot on. That one's just good. Like the juxtaposition of the music and the sisters, like that one's okay, but this one's too spot on.
It didn't bother me.
Later, And then when they're pulling up at the house after the party, the song that's playing is "I do my best to understand you, but you still mystify, and I don't know why. I pick myself up off the ground to have you knock me down."
Okay, well now it's bothering me.
Too spot on.
Yes, and Cameron sucks. He's the villain of the movie.
Sucks.
He's like, I'm like nice to you and stuff.
I
Give me a
gave you
blowjob.
French.
Well, those lyrics were when Patrick dropped off Cat.
Oh, okay.
That was the song that was playing.
But Patrick then, because she's drunk, he's worried she's going to have a concussion, or that she does have a concussion, so he's preventing her from
Not because she's drunk, but because she hit her head.
Yeah. And takes her out by the swings. I like Julia Stiles' drunk acting because she's not overplaying it.
Yes.
She is, like many people when they're drunk, trying to act like she's not
Yes.
drunk. But the tell is that she's falling over and stuff. But when she talks, she's not slurring or anything.
Right.
She's just being a little more open and vulnerable. It's again,
good.
she's great.
She's good.
Then he drives her home and they have a little heart to heart. And he's like, I know everyone digs your sister, but she's without. It's a good line.
It
Just
is
she's
good.
without.
Thank you.
And,
I thought you were going to say the opposite.
and she tries to drunk kiss him. He refuses. And then she gets offended, which I would think.
She's embarrassed, not offended.
Mhm. Yeah.
I would
That's
be-
totally it. It's not like, oh, you should have taken advantage of me, you motherfucker.
You threw up. You danced. You threw up. You got shit-faced drunk. You told him he had pretty eyes, and then he wouldn't kiss you. Go kill yourself. I would be so fucking
that's
embarrassed.
It seems to me.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
mean,
you're
yes.
wrong.
Okay.
No, you're
My
wrong.
case
Whatever.
is
If you stay,
If you say it wasn't perfect, you're wrong.
I would think this feminist girl would understand.
She's not, though.
Yes, she is. She's not faking that she's a feminist.
yes, she doesn't want to get drunk and be raped or
Not-
anything, but yes, she's embarrassed.
She's embarrassed. Not when it comes to him. She's being vulnerable with him, and he's shooting it down.
Yes, but when she is sober, I find it weird that she lets it continue. Like,
Well, we don't know what it turns into when she's sober. It could have turned into something completely different. But it's the major thing is embarrassment, and she's not sure where she stands with him. The whole time she's suspicious of his intentions, and she's right to be suspicious. But the deep down shit feeling is that she's going to be rejected and he's going to walk away like her mom did. So all she needed was just a tiny bit of proof of that and be like, I knew it. This is why I have a wall.
anyway, between this and Austin Powers refusing to have sex with Vanessa Kensington when she's drunk, see, like in the 1990s, people did understand about like consent and people being drunk and
Well, and
that
how
kind
to
of stuff.
signal being a good person.
Yes, which
Yeah.
is just declining to have sex with a drunk person.
And don't just use the excuse of like everyone else is doing it. That just means you're kind of a shitty person.
So their cool English teacher,
It's always English teachers, isn't it? It's
Yes.
always English.
So cool.
he starts quoting William Shakespeare, and he's like, William Shakespeare is pretty with it, everybody. And I think it's time for us all to write a sonnet. I love that Kat asks a question, does it need to be an iambic pentameter? And he's like, great question.
Get the fuck out of here.
He hates her. And it's
No,
great.
he's just
Right?
anticipating
No,
her.
it's a really good assignment. Get out of my class.
Yep.
Go.
She can't win.
It's worse than being in Indies class. She gets no instruction.
So
Hey, it's not stalking. Fuck you.
It's not stalking. It's
I don't like your
sweet.
titles to most of these slides.
Yeah. Because he's being provocative. Matt likes to pretend that I'm reactionary when he fucking prods me with these titles. This is every episode,
no,
Patrick.
no.
He chooses stills that are going to trigger me, and then he's like, and what are you responding to, Lacey? That's his little fucking catchphrase. Oh, stupid bitch, not doing podcast, correct? You're doing it to me.
You're such a dick, dude.
Gaslighting
I don't know
piece
why
of
you're-
shit.
Why haven't you left him yet?
I don't know, but I'm coming to Iowa or wherever the fuck you are.
yeah, look
I know.
closely
Move
for
to
him.
Iowa, Patrick. I'm on my way.
Meet me in Iowa.
Which one's worse? Idaho.
But he keeps showing up
do
wherever
it
she
every
is.
time.
And she's at the
as a
guitar
guitar
store.
player.
She's at the guitar store, and I was gonna
It's
ask
upside down.
Patrick, what do we think of
Yeah.
what do you think of Stiles' guitar acting?
It's upside down.
It's the most. It's like nobody on the set knew to tell her, hey, maybe put it like up here in a chord or something. Like she's barely even touching the
Touching it,
strings.
right?
With her hands in the weirdest, most awkward.
Maybe if
spots,
she had a
and
bra on,
goes
she could
from the
let it go
bottom
over
to
her
the top.
tit.
See,
Like she's not playing the guitar for shit.
well, but see, what's weird is I think her fingering with her left hand is pretty good. She's making actual chords.
You triggered me with that sexy fucking
But
word.
she's-
Say it
She
again.
makes actual chords.
She is playing
She
actual
does-
chords. She's playing like ska chords.
Yeah.
But she's playing them really
Okay.
fast. But it's clear she's not playing with her right hand, and she's holding the guitar in that awkward way that non-guitar players hold the guitar. You're right. It is pretty weird, but it's
Like, hug it.
It's
It's
weird.
yours.
It's weird for them for an actor to be half good at it. Like you're doing the right thing with your left hand.
Well, I think she accidentally did some of it.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yes.
I mean, her finger position looks right.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is the hard part. It was the finger firmness I couldn't do when I got my sweet
I
Zenith.
don't know. I just think she moved her fingers into different, like the claw, like Phoebe.
Yeah.
Phoebe taught her how to play, and so she just did that.
I'm completely distracted by the fact that she has her own headphones on. So I'm like, what are you even fucking listening to right now? Those didn't.
Well, she's plugged into the guitar.
Oh!
And I used to, and you did too, go to guitar stores all the time and play guitars there. Never saw these headphone things. I was like, that's a thing?
Yeah. That's because they hate it when we did that. They're like, buy the shit or get out.
No Stairway to Heaven. Wayne's
Wayne's World is such a good movie.
It really is.
We'll do that one
we
next.
need to do. No, that's a load bearing big for me.
So then there's so Jogo explains to him.
This is how they knew he could be the Joker. Who would do this?
The singing in the high school.
Okay, but what's the cafeteria table one? Is that She's All That?
It's not She's All That.
Who sings on
Scream
top of
2.
Okay.
It does happen in Scream 2. It probably happens in another movie.
I mean, it's great, but it's like, I love that he spends his money on this. He gets all $300 to the. That doesn't make sense because he also buys the
That's not true. He doesn't spend all his money on this.
No.
It looks
he handed.
like it.
I looked very closely. He handed the guy 20s. I think there were 2 or 3.
But it is $1, $2, $3 bills, isn't it, Patrick?
Let me just.
2 or 3. Yeah.
It makes it
hard to tell.
infers that it's all the money he's been given.
So he is doing this because Jogo explains she is embarrassed, so you need to embarrass yourself. You need to prostrate yourself before her.
Which is the best advice anyone has ever given anyone. It is spot on.
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes to the fucking football stadium, gets a wireless mic, and starts singing. I think
Beautifully,
I
I
gotta tell you.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
This is I am fucking allergic to this shit.
Yes, you are.
I hate this. I assumed I would want to fucking vomit.
But
But
the
Heath Ledger's
marching
such
band,
a goddamn movie star. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you did it.
he slaps the fucking
And when he
cop on
slaps
his
the cop
butt.
on the ass.
Yep.
Yes.
And he improv'd all
so-
of that.
Seriously?
Yeah, the director told the security guys, because they're just extras, he's like, I don't know what he's going to do. Just go with it.
Oh my god.
And one of those security guard extras, apparently they thought he was having a heart attack. They had to shut down for a while
Oh.
because they were running around so much in the sun.
Oh.
But hey, great scene. I also just hate this song. What do you think of this song?
I fucking love this song. It's one of my favorite songs.
Ugh.
I love this
I
song.
don't have any particular feelings about
Well,
the song.
I win then.
I think it was appropriate for the scene.
Yes, it was. And he says he love you to you. To
Which
him.
that's it's like you're coming on very, very strong.
It's working.
I love you, baby, more
There's
than
no
a
song.
dollar a
I
do.
like you, pretty good lady. There's not a lot
He's
of
not
those.
saying it. He's not saying I'm in love with you.
I know. I take it that way.
Fucking song.
Like, we're gonna get married
He's
after
singing
this.
a song.
In the script, it was I Touch Myself.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
And then there was
A great song.
Yeah, but it's not
no.
sentimental enough. She needed to know that there wasn't a
Yes.
lust thing. She didn't know that she didn't make a fool of
Yeah.
herself. He needed to be sincere and sweet, not sexy.
Well,
I
it
touch
would be
myself is
singing
in
that
Austin
song.
Powers.
but it would be
Just
him
like he says,
embarrassing himself.
Well, yes.
Yeah, but this-
particularly that song.
But that song is like a sexy,
Yeah.
like this is about fucking you. So I'm cool because I'm singing about fucking you. This is about loving her. That's why this is embarrassing and good.
like when they're in the lunch line and he says, "Don't say that crap to me. People can hear you."
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of crap he's talking about.
Right,
This song.
exactly, Patrick. Yep.
I
This is the vulnerability that
You
is
just don't
needed.
get it, Matt.
I
God,
agree
Matt.
with. I
Get
agree.
the fuck out of here. Me and Patrick can take it from here, Matt.
All right, take it from here.
Meet me in Iowa. Iowa. I love the
wait,
paintball
wait.
scene.
So okay. So now,
The haystack kiss.
as a result of this, he goes to detention, but she gets him out of detention by flashing the
Just wait 20 minutes, Kat. Wait 20 minutes.
teacher.
He's gonna be out.
And yeah, he gets out. So they go meet and they go on a paddle boat and then they go on a paintball date. And it did remind me, I did not date in high school until my senior year where I did a little tiny bit of it. And I think this movie captures that kind of awkward but weird feeling of like, I'm one-on-one, me a boy and her a girl. And we're just going to do something fun together and we like each other.
How can I not look stupid or accidentally fart?
I mean, I guess, yeah. It's just like, it's like a weird but charming situation to be in. And then they just fucking start paintballing and kissing and coming paint on each other.
That's sweet.
And it's
I
cool
love
and
it.
sweet. Yeah.
Do you have any idea who sings the song during that scene?
What is the
I'm
song?
surprised that no one's told you before that you're lovely and you're perfect.
Oh,
and
no. God damn
Good
it.
song.
Google.
I can
Is
just
it
look
Bare
it
Naked
up, but I'll
Ladies?
just- No, I think
It's
it might
kind
be
of
Semisonic.
Scottish.
Yeah, F&T by
Well,
Semisonic.
that's what
Very
I
good,
said.
Patrick. Semisonic has another song, eh?
Hey, I've got a semi just thinking about it.
Wow.
Can we go on?
Semisonic, when they play their concerts, they open with closing time and close with closing time. It's a great idea.
Love that.
What an amazing
'Cause
cell
you know,
phone. Oh,
I've told you
God.
before, like,
Oh, my God.
it's great to have a one-hit wonder, but at the same time, it sucks.
Lean
'cause
in.
People go to your concerts and it's like, dude, just play the fucking song that we know.
No,
Like, cut
I
this other crap out. Just play that one song.
It's like
And they do
saying-
it twice.
It's like saying, yeah, we have cowboys. Like, it's just like, I know, this is stupid.
No, I fucking
Closing
love that, dude.
time.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I heard that like somebody was talking about Toto's greatest hits. I was like, how does Toto have a greatest hits? Is it just Africa 16 times?
They have songs.
Yeah, which is not here. They weren't popular here. Go on, then.
Rosanna is like the other big one, I think. Rosanna.
So he invites her, go to the prom with me. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
didgeridoo.
make me the honest man. And she's a little suspicious of that. What do we think of this? I like that. What gets her suspicious is just that seems
wanna
a
conform.
little out of character for you, and it's raised my hackles.
Right, because like you want to take me to this party. I get embarrassed at this party. You want to take me in public again. We've had such a good one-on-one, but now you want to take me to this thing that you know I don't like to conform. You know this makes me feel weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why this? Why does this have to be our next date? This was so good. It feels a little out of the blue, but she's been
Yeah,
suspicious.
no, I think she got a little too suspicious. Yeah, I
But
think she
she's-
was suspicious a little too fast.
her mom left her. She's been
But yeah.
a fucking mom to leave two girl children is bizarre as fuck.
You changed my mind a little bit.
The kind of self-doubt, if it wasn't for the immense love of her dad, she would be completely feeling worthless. So yeah, she's just like, why are you trying to fit me into this box? What is this? You can date me and then not like me, and we're doing it by my rules, but don't get me to conform and do fucking corny shit that I wouldn't normally do, and then tell me you don't like me. That's something I can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm embarrassed in front of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about Bianca beating up Joey?
I love that. That's the only part of the movie.
Fine.
That's my only thing with them that I like, because she beats up Joey and then heroically picks up Jogo, and he's like swept off his feet by her.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting gender reversal. It's not like
I
he's
agree.
been emasculated, but he's just like into it. Like, she beat up that guy. That's hot. It's not like he has to beat him up now too.
I love her lady dick.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's yeah.
I agree. It's just
Matt-
that if you just
Patrick-
don't like Bianca in the first
Patrick,
place, so,
get this.
you know.
Matt thinks her prom outfit is ridiculous. Isn't Bianca's prom outfit adorable? Are you not
yeah, it's
into it?
great.
I fucking love it.
Everybody looks great in their dresses and their tuxes.
I think she looks like a child.
I love it because she is
Well, she is a child.
childlike. Yes, but
Yes.
it's not like super sexy or anything. She's I don't know. I think she's like finally starting to be
That's
herself.
elegant.
It looks like she's wearing a tutu. Like she's gonna
It's
go do a
adorable!
ballet recital.
All right, fine.
I don't think it's as nice as the other two's dresses, but
I hate Julia
still
Stiles'
a good
outfit.
dress.
I hate it. I hate
So-
her
Well,
hair.
Okay.
What's her name? What did we decide her name was?
Who?
Mandela.
Joey. Oh,
No,
I think
Mandela.
it's
Mandela.
cute. I think it's cute that they're Shakespeare and it's stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, no,
and
it's
he
adorable.
actually looks fucking hot. He's actually
does.
pulling it off. And for some reason, he paid the band just to let him stand up there until she noticed.
He's got a lot of
I
clout
don't
in
know if he
this city.
paid them.
Or whatever, but like the only thing he didn't like go, hey, Shakespeare,
Yeah.
I'm up here. He just stands there until she notices, and then she's like,
I wonder how long
That's
she
true.
was
That's
up
true.
there.
Yeah.
he just says it.
He probably got down, kept getting back up. Any minute
Yeah,
now.
probably. Yeah.
All right. So
I'm
look.
dressed as Gaston. All right, sorry.
So there is the scene with the sisters where she finally tells
Does look like this song.
Kat, and you're LeFou.
with the shirt. What do you call those?
Do the poofy
With
shirt.
the
wearing
with
the poofy
with
shirt.
the cufflinks come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look like Gaston.
No one dressed like Gaston. So
Like a sexy ass Gaston.
The original Haktua is Gaston. All right, fine.
Gaston is the original Haktua. So Kat tells her younger sister, here's the thing. You don't know this about me. I had sex with Tony when I was in ninth. never heard somebody call it knife. When we were in freshman year, I had sex with him and her sister's like, oh my God. But it's like, yeah, this is when I used to be popular, when I had sex and then I realized I'm too young to have sex. I don't want to do it anymore, and tells him, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to break up with you. I just don't want to do this anymore. And then he breaks up with her. And this is what sets her on the path of,
I don't give a damn about my reputation.
Exactly. Because she did that because she felt pressured to. I'm not going to feel that way anymore.
No.
Yes. And
Not
then we
bad.
get a little montage of all these characters are sad and they're thinking about how sad they are. And then this leads Kat to realize, I will go to the prom with Heath Ledger. I will. So they all go to the prom. Me and Lacey argue about Bianca's dress. Heath Ledger says, you look really special. You look like a wallaby.
I want to push you into a shit. I couldn't think of anything Australian to push her into.
And then Gabrielle Union tells Bianca Tony had a bet that he could fuck you. There's a bet? I missed this bet. When does this bet happen?
He didn't say a bet. He said he paid him.
A bet? Tony?
No,
Joey
she
made
says
a
that
bet.
he had a bet that she would. Yeah.
When does...
Well, we don't need to see
I don't
it.
know. I think
So
that's
it's
a
off
good
screen?
enough approximation. I think it's just like telephone, right? Like it's just like
No. He just told her that in the car. on the way
Right.
there. Like he went to go pick up Bianca. Then, I guess I can't go with her. I'll go pick up the other girl.
I like this
guess.
read. I like this read, Patrick. That's
no.
a good...
It's good. It's good. It's a
Because
secondhand
you
self
because you saw
mythologizing,
earlier.
right?
Because the guy did say, I bet you can't get that. And he says, money I have, this I'm going to do for fun. So we already know he's not doing
Well,
it. It's not a bet.
and they
or
make it
anything. So
very-
he just told her that in the car. So to make her feel like she wasn't her second choice,
Right.
his second choice.
Well, they make it very clear that no one's actually interested in Bianca for Bianca. They want to take her virginity. They're always talking about how she's a virgin. It's gross.
Ugh.
And you don't know totally from Jolo or fucking Jojo or whatever you keep saying, that he isn't also just trying to go after that pureness because he also fucking compliments her on being pure. It's disgusting.
I
Yeah,
just
this
realized
is-
he's saying Jogo because his name's Joseph Gordon.
Jesus
That's why
Christ,
I say-
Patrick.
It just clicked with me. Well, if you realize that, how are you not getting that
I'm
right? You say
dyslexic,
Jogo.
so I couldn't get the go before the Joe. I kept putting the Frank
No,
above the
you
bean.
didn't know either.
I wrote
You
it...
didn't
I don't know his
either.
actual name.
I thought that was his name in Third Planet or something.
Shut up,
I wrote
Patrick.
Gojo throughout my entire notes. Gojo. Like Mike Golick Jr.
Go, Joe!
And then Joey reveals Julia Stiles hears that he paid Heath Ledger to take her out, and she's like, "You,
Am I a bet? Am I a fucking bet?
am I a bet, Heath Ledger?" And he's like, "No, you're a precious wallaby," but it's not working. Now Lacey pointed this out. He's been stalking her this whole movie, but once she walks down the stairs, he will not then follow her down
it's
the
like,
stairs.
You're already in your outfit. Just go.
Yeah.
No.
No. He knows her. He needs to
I
let her.
love
think-
how much Patrick defends everything.
I have to. It's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
But no, because I was thinking just a few seconds ago that this is like the scene in the movie that's usually cringy for me. You know, when they find out and then the other person tries to sell that. No, I really love you. Like, I swear it wasn't just about the money, but I think he sells it so well. I didn't care about the money. I cared about you, you know? And then she's like, oh, fuck off. And then he tries to kiss her and she reaches. I think that's when it's time to leave her alone. You know,
Yeah.
so
No,
I don't think it should
I
change concepts
agree.
at all.
It's just for the sake of the plot.
But-
Like, come
right.
on, get it moving,
And-
move this along.
Well, in real life, though, I'm already dressed up. I'm going to chase you into the fucking parking lot and let you, tell me to go away one more time.
That's the thing. That's what you said. It's like, yeah, every fight that we've had in our 15-year relationship, it's been,
I stalk you till you tell me it's okay.
yeah, I mean, yes, that's
Yeah,
how fights
no,
have to
me too.
resolve.
Right? It's like,
I mean, I did before you were there. I did that with Matt. Tell me it's okay.
tell me we're
Because when he
good.
says it's okay, you don't believe him. It's fine. And it's
Right, it's
dude,
like,
I don't
leave
believe
me
him. You know, you
alone.
got mad at me. Just fucking tell me what you're mad about.
I will when
Quit
I'm
keeping
ready.
it inside, Matt.
No, when I'm ready, I'll tell.
You're never
So
ready.
yes, then at school she's gonna read her sonnet, and she gets up in class. She's gonna read her sonnet.
Weeping Willow, why you weep?
Weeping Willow,
Willow.
why are you sad? We
It's-
both made the
Sorry, this is a My Girls joke.
joke from My Girl.
My Girl. Sorry.
When Veda reads her poem
Which
about
is
Macaulay
horseshit.
Culkin getting
This
stung by
one's-
bees to death.
Not even a little bit.
But
This is not a great poem, but the
It's
last
not,
line
but
is.
she's
I love it.
good.
I
that's
the
love
why
last-
I
yep.
love this poem, because you're like, oh, well, yeah, she's
This
going to
is-
be a great poet. But no, this is like
No.
a roses are red.
Right.
I love Heath Ledger. It's not that well written of a poem, but it's raw
Except the
and
last
it's
line.
real.
Yeah.
It is.
I tried to track this. This is either 8 things or 13 things I hate about you.
Don't know what you're talking
Depending
about.
on if you want to couple these individual items.
I never even
Yeah.
this name. The name of the movie is a non sequitur. Like
It
doesn't
it's funny
matter.
that I
It's-
didn't see any
I
reporting on
agree.
why they named the movie
because
this.
it's the same reason why listicles work. Whenever you fucking publish
Oh,
an
okay.
article, you put a number in something and people watch it.
She's
You
right.
wanna-
She's right about that.
You want to know how stupid I am?
Yes.
I never even made the connection between the movie title and this poem and saying the thing she hates until I was on IMDb movie reviews.
Then that's where Matt got it.
Because I wanted to see what other people would say who didn't like it. Why didn't they like it? You know, and this.
There's
that,
only 4
and-
reasons not to like Heath Ledger.
Yeah, and then one person mentioned that it's a lot more than 10 reasons why she hates things she doesn't like about him. And I was like, oh fuck, I never even connected.
There's
that
everything to
poem and
like
title of the
about
movie.
him. I love him.
She's so great here. She's crying in front of the class. They did this in one take. I kind of wish
Patrick said that.
I kind of wish they don't cut away from Julia Stiles to get to the reaction shot. But they do. It's fine. But yeah, it's nice.
I'm
And
so
like
glad you forgave them.
I do forgive
And how she
them.
messes up the poem, the tiny
Yes,
bit.
yes, yes.
I hate that. So perfect.
Yes,
fucking
so
perfect.
good. Then they get out of the scene, and then she goes to the parking lot, and there's a Fender Strat
Not a Strat.
in my car.
If there was ever a time to say the full word, just say the full word. Say Stratocaster. Don't say fucking Strat.
Well, I thought you were talking about
No,
Stratford,
that's like saying
her
10
last name.
things. There's a 10 things in here. A 10 things.
A Catherine Stratford.
Say the whole goddamn word. Fuck.
Strat for strat.
That's what the program's called. Mexican Strat, I believe.
Oh my God, Matt.
So he's like, yeah, so I bought you this, and
It's called a didgeridoo. Where
I
I'm from.
figured we'd be all cool now, right? And she's
There
like,
had to be there should have been 10 more minutes between the poem and that.
this is like the
scene.
movie's
It should have been another day.
the movie's running out of budget and schedule, and they spent all their money on the helicopter shot for the
on
end
that
of the
fucking
movie,
guitar.
and on this guitar. And they're going to return the guitar afterward. So they're like,
And the
yeah, so now
helicopter.
you forgive each other. And she's like, you can't just buy me a guitar every time you fuck up. And he's like, well, there's still bass and a drum set and also a nice little didgeridoo.
Yeah.
And they kiss,
Adorable.
and that's the end of the movie. Bada bing,
I
bada boom.
love it.
That's the movie.
And then I don't give a damn about my roof rotation. I'm on the roof. Yeah,
They
yeah.
do a cover of I Want You to Want Me.
That's what I said.
And Patrick and I, our band Rural Route 9, used to cover this song.
Oh my
and
God,
a member.
tell me more.
Why can't I tell this?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
One time we covered it, and a member of another band who was playing that night said to me, it's like cheating to play that song.
Tell me the name of that band so that we can all loathe their
Was that the band with
Tell
the
me.
woman that front?
Patrick, say
was that
the name.
with the female singer?
Yep. and
Okay,
you
now
know-
don't say it. Now
you
don't say
know-
it. Nope, nope.
and you
Y'all
know
are
that-
haters. Nope.
You know the guy who we saw in Hammond playing. Do you know the guy I'm talking about?
This is
Jesse something?
very
All
interesting.
right, Jesse something.
Jesse
we won't say.
something.
We won't say any more. But
Uncle
that's
Jesse.
yeah. All right. Final thoughts.
I gave it a 10 out of 5.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's the perfect movie. Oh, it's the perfect rom-com, which is also the perfect movie, I guess. I don't know.
All right. So what out of 5 stars, Patrick? What do you give it?
He gives it a 5.
6.
Perfect.
6 stars. Okay.
Continue.
Look, this as a rom-com, it accomplishes everything it's trying to accomplish flawlessly. It's hilarious throughout the whole movie. The acting is great. It's charming as hell. And so authentic and organic and natural and seems right. Everything about it. All the 3 people that get together makes 3 pairs that get together makes sense. Shakespeare people
We
makes
got you.
sense. Karen McCullah makes sense. Yeah, okay, fuck you.
I'm doing good. I'm
So
holding
6
up.
out of 5.
I'm holding up.
Yeah, no, you've been way better than I
Thank
feel
you.
much
You should have
less
seen me
abused.
at the end of the last time when I was drinking.
No, I had to go to the local women's shelter.
Yeah.
after last time.
That was good.
Sanctuary.
That was good. Hunchback. Sanctuary. My little Esmeralda. Okay.
Lacey, star rating and final thoughts.
Okay, well, Patrick's kind of like made me want to give it a 4. I have it at 3.5. On
Yeah, you got it 4. You give it a 4.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna
do
give it a little. Patrick's fluffed me.
3.75.
Patrick has fluffed me, and now I think I want to give it a 4 just because.
That was the only reason I came on here, is to just
To fluff
turn
you.
everybody's opinion. To fluff you.
Look, I admire my friend Patrick's passion for this movie.
The passion.
And I had a great time with this movie, and I love Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles. I think they are so wonderful together. I think this movie's pretty well directed in terms of visual comedy, and I think that Gil Junger also deserves credit for getting these performances out of these two such young, inexperienced actors.
You know what I can see in this director is him letting actors call their shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like Julia's like, no, I can do the dance. Julia's like, no, I can do this one take. And then I think the comedy is probably driven by what's his nose the whole time.
Krumholz.
Because he almost seems like he's from a different movie. Because it's so good, though, it's fine. But this is the sign of a director not holding the leash too tight.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. Sorry.
Larry Miller and Allison Janney are so wonderful, and I like that it's set in Seattle, and you get to see so much of
It's refreshing.
Seattle. And
it's not California.
Yes,
Thank God.
It is. So I give it 3.5. I would like it more where it more streamlined, where you didn't have to spend so much time with the boring couple.
Wait, surely Lacey likes this movie more than you do.
She does, yeah.
Same rating?
I had it as a 4, then I saw it Matt's 3.5 on Letterboxd, and I put mine at 3.5.
So it's really a 4
It's 4.
for you.
She gives it a 4.
It's a 4. I'm gonna fix
I
it.
can live. I'll sleep tonight with that. That's fine.
Yeah. Look, your cat knocked nothing over. It's got to be a sign.
It is a miracle. I don't know.
Thank you so much for doing this.
We love you.
I can't believe our longest episode is about 10 things I hate about you, but it's okay. I think it was a good time.
Sorry, not sorry.
Shrug emoji.
Anything you want to plug? Any social media? Any albums? Anything?
Just put it on record.
I would like to plug not using social media, please.
Okay, yes, that's a good idea. That's a good
Touch
idea.
grass and ass.
I sent you that email that has the 2-year-old My Chemical Romance song. So
listen to My Chemical Romance's newest song. I forgot what it's called, but yeah. Catch Oasis on tour if you can.
These are just like
the boys are finally back together.
These are just recommendations.
Yes.
You're so selfless, Patrick.
You know what? Follow your heart, audience.
Yeah.
You know
what? If 10 Things is your first name, Bay, then you watch that until your dad fires you. I'm drunk. I'm a little drunk.
As for Load Bearing Beams, next week on the podcast,
we're doing Road Trip?
Todd Phillips's debut film,
Road Trip.
Because his new movie...
Euro Trip's better than Road Trip, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted.
His new movie, Joker Folie à Deux, is coming out. So to honor the man and all his great opinions...
This is a weird crossover thing with Heath Ledger and this and all this.
Indeed.
I can't... so much. I've drank a lot.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt also in Christopher Nolan's next Batman movie.
I had a feeling.
Shut up. I've drank nothing.
You thought things I said were way too funny, and they weren't.
All right. Why does he use it for evil? Patrick, can you accept my love, please?
Stop using it for evil.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
Gonna owe him so many letters. All right.
Episode 1.
You know what? The only thing more charming than 10 Things I Hate About You is you, Lacey.
Patrick, say more. Meet me in Iowa. All right.
So yeah, Road Trip, September 27th, 2024, the movie where they go on a road trip. As for us, you should tell a friend about our podcast, listen to it or watch it or whatever. Leave us a review if you please. Subscribe on YouTube, Load Bearing Beams Pod. We already did our social media at the beginning of the episode, but I am on Letterboxd at Matt Stokes 9. You can follow me there, or you can follow Lacey on Letterboxd at
Letterboxd Lacey.
Nope.
Load Bearing Lacey.
Yes. Listen to my band and Patrick's band, Rural Route 9, RURLROUTENINE. We have an album called The Joy of Averages.
Something else. That name is too hard.
We have an album called The Joy of Averages. The first song you should listen to is Lullaby, written and sung by Patrick, track 9 on the album.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite songs on the album. And we also do the music for Load Bearing Beams, including the song you're hearing right now.
And the interstitials.
In the
Interstellar.
We couldn't do it without you, Lacey. All right. That's all we got. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, I love you. Goodbye.
Three, four. everybody. Love bearing beams, love bearing beams, love bearing